Have a flag?
Nope, not in this room. Okay, so go ahead and start. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna, we are the Town of Pembroke Park Agenda Workshop.
Sir, hold on. Vice Mayor, hold on. I got to get everything streaming first. Hold on.
Okay, tell me when I can go.
This conference will now be recorded.
Hold on, not yet.
Oh, wait, I'm starting to get service again. What is this? I'm in
Okay.
support now.
All right, we are ready to go, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I think
We're
we.
good to go.
Okay, hold on 1 second. We're gonna move the flag over. So, okay, just get it in the, there you go. It looks like we got it right there, right? Everybody got it? Okay, so we're good to go. Okay. Agenda Workshop Commission meeting Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, 6 p.m. virtual meeting, virtual instructions. Notice is hereby given that the Town Commission of the Town of Pembroke Park, Florida, will hold a virtual workshop commission meeting utilizing communication media technology, CMT, in accordance with Governor Ron DeSantis, Executive Order number 2069, dated March 20th, 2020, pertaining to conducting local government meetings while under the public health emergency related the spread of novel coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19. Workshop commission meeting Wednesday, October 28, 2020, 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. You can dial in using your phone. United States toll free 1-877-309-2073. United States 1-571-317-3129. Access code 757-525. 2 hours prior to the meeting, you can submit a text or voicemail at 954-707-9820. Any member of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matter, including on items on the agenda, may submit their comments by email to the Deputy Town Clerk at townclerk@tpp Florida. All comments submitted by email that is read orally are 3 minutes or less shall be read into the record. All comments submitted by email shall be made a part of the public record. If any member of the public requires additional information about this town commission meeting or has any questions about how to submit a public comment at the meeting, please contact Marlon D. Martell, Deputy Town Clerk, Town of Pembroke Park, 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park, Florida, 33023, 954-966-4600, extension 235. So now we'll begin. Call to order. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic to which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so let's go roll call. Marlon, if you would, please.
Commissioner Cohen,
Here.
Commissioner DeVille,
Here.
Clerk Commissioner Jacobs,
Here.
Vice Mayor Clark,
Here.
Mayor Mohammed.
Okay.
Here.
Is there any additions, deletions, or withdrawals to the agenda?
Vice Mayor, if you don't mind, I'd like to add a discussion on the credit card account. It's
Okay,
something that was requested by Finance.
okay, so mark that one down. Anybody else have anything else to add? Ray, Jeffrey, Gina? Okay, I've got one, and that's going to be Logan Sinez. Okay, and that's relating to the community garden and Blue Forest. Add that one. Does anybody else have anything to add?
This is the town attorney. I wanted to take the personnel manual item 11.2 off. I'm not sure if this is the time to do it, but
Yes, attorney, it is.
okay, because I went over the comments of the mayor, and there are some things that I would like to look into, and also some items in the manual I would like to tweak. It looks good, but there's some things that can be revised. So I have not had time to do that yet, so I'd like to pull it.
Okay, and then we can have that at the following month. Okay, so we'll put this on the agenda for, we'll have a workshop
November.
where we can see, and then it'll be voted on or considered after the workshop. Is that, did I make myself clear, Marlon, or do you need more clarification?
No, that's fine, sir. I understand.
Okay, so that's going to be, so when is this going to come? The attorney's going to look at it and make some adjustments, fine tune it. And then when will this come back up? At the next workshop in November?
That's the will of the committee, of the board.
Yes.
The regular meeting, correct?
Yeah, it'll go to workshop and then a regular meeting. It'll be looked at again. So she did. Okay, so that's, now do we want to, does anybody else have any more additions, deletions? Okay, so let's call the roll. Let's make a motion that we accept the agenda as amended. I entertain that.
I'll second.
No, I think, yeah, I made an entertainment. So someone
You
has,
have to make the motion. I'm sorry. Before y'all do that, I'm gonna pull the emergency powers. I had sent Melissa an email, and I haven't sent over the old documents from Chris to show what was missing, but I did send an email over stating that there was additional stuff that was missing from it.
and
May
would
I?
like-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Gina, Commissioner.
Yeah, I think the background check, I think that should be removed as well, because we did get the opinion of the attorney. So I think I would like that to be removed as well.
Where is the opinion from the attorney? I don't see that.
I mean, you had the background check on the, here, I'm looking for the number. Marlon, can you help me? I know it was your, what is it?
10.2.
10.2, Howard.
Okay, well, what, I don't understand that you got something from the attorney. Was there
Yes,
something?
at our last meeting, remember she gave her opinion? In the
Okay.
charter, it does not ask for a background check from, for commissioners.
Okay, that's true, but that's not what this is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's something
Is
different.
this, okay, is this maybe the charter to,
The charter committee, maybe we could put it over there, these items. Okay, and so let them figure it out, but it should stay on because it has nothing to do with being elected. This has
Okay.
something else. However,
okay,
the charter committee might choose otherwise and bring that forward to the commission and to the public for voting on later.
okay, okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And I'm gonna pull the civility. What item is that, Marlon? And, code
The
of conduct, code of
civility, the
11.3.
civility is 11.3.
Yeah, and JC and I talked today, and we're going to continue working on it and fine tune it. It'll give us a little more time, and the attorney, of course. So all those are pulled, and somebody want to make a motion as amended?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended, which is the removal of items 11.2, 11.3, and 11.4, adding the credit card accounts and the food force, Logan Food Force.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be Logan Corner. Okay, but anyway, So is there a second?
Okay, and the background check is something else, correct?
Yeah, you'll understand.
Okay.
You don't wanna-
All right, I just want to, confirm it. Okay, thank you.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay. Motion made by Mayor Mohammed, seconded by Commissioner DeVille. Commissioner Cohen?
Yes.
Commissioner DeVille?
Yes.
Clerk Commissioner Jacobs? Clerk Commissioner Jacob?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Clark?
Yes.
Mayor Mohammed?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now we have number.
Vice Mayor, if I may just add one thing before we start the meeting. I just would like to reiterate something that Commissioner DeVille stated at the end of the last meeting. And I think it's important to reiterate. Speaking of civility and it was being pulled, I don't think we as adults need a piece of paper or an ordinance or resolution to tell us how to be civil with each other. I'm going to ask you and I'll ask all of us, just remember, let's be civil with each other. It's not difficult. I'm not saying we have to agree and everything is going to be 5-0 vote. No, disagreement is healthy. But I think the residents and the business owners and the taxpayers, they come here to make sure that our business, the town's business, is being done. And so let's keep it civil. We're not going to agree all the time, and I'm okay with that. Everybody's okay with that. That's expected. But I think it's important that we remember to just keep it civil. All right, and that's all I have to say.
Okay,
I thank you, and I,
Okay, yeah, we thank you. Okay, number 6, reports of committees and city staff, town staff. 6.1, commission legislative priorities, town manager Jimenez and town lobbyist David Segerson. Okay.
Vice Mayor, yeah, that's perfect. I believe David is on the line here. Earlier today, he sent out, emailed out a legislative program. And I thought it was very important to have him come and get your legislative priorities, the commissions, for this upcoming legislative year. As you know, every year, we deal with a number of items that affect home rule, annexation, one of them, and any other. There's a number of items that come up every year that will affect our ability, the town's ability to operate as a town. With that being said, I'm going to turn that over to Dave Segerson. He and I have been in close contact for a while now, and I'm going to hand it over to him.
Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, JC. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. I've been at the campaign polling place all day and didn't have enough water to drink.
Well, you
Sorry.
got enough now. You got plenty now.
Okay. So what I presented, to him, and I don't know if it's been shared with you all yet, but it's basically similar to what you adopted last October 5th workshop meeting. And basically our approach at this point is that we designed for you to approve some general guidelines, a framework within, in other words, a framework within which we as the lobbyists get direction from you as the commission, even though we don't know right now what specific bills are going to be filed, because no other than claims bills, there haven't been any bills of substance filed. There are certain issues that would come back every year, and I put them in this document. And basically, I'll just read you a couple of things real quick that are sort of to give you the nature of the general guidelines that we offer you or suggest to you that you approve and authorize us to work for on your behalf. First of all, we suggest that the town support legislation that generally benefits the town, protects and expands its ability to raise revenue and provide for the needs of its residents, and specifically legislation that preserves, protects, and promotes the mobile home lifestyle or facilitating to achieve that objective. And by the same token, we would suggest that you authorize us to oppose legislation that essentially would work against any of those issues, especially the revenue sources. And every year, as you know, we've been talking about it. The legislature seems to be very fond of chipping away at local government revenue sources, whether it's your communication services tax or the business tax receipts. There are various different things they have gone after in recent years, and so we asked for the authorization to oppose that, and oppose legislation that infringes upon home rule authority. They're very much interested in limiting what local government can regulate at the local level, even in traditional areas. I know Commissioner Cohen is very much interested in code enforcement issues. Well, in recent years, the legislature has put severe limits on what how local governments can regulate, everything from gardens and front yards to tree trimming and so forth. And so we're always on the lookout for those kinds of infringements on your home rule powers. And then lastly, in that category, to infringe upon home rule or authority or annexation legislation that would specifically harm the town, and by the same token, annexation legislation that would help the town, which we passed last year. Unfortunately, got vetoed by the governor, not because of our part of the bill, but for something else in the bill that he didn't like. And so the other thing that I do, those are sort of general frameworks. The other thing that I do is I monitor mobile home legislation, not anything to do with mobile home park owners or mobile home park resident organizations or their governance, which are the subject of numerous bills each year. But for any attempt to infringe upon the local government's authority to regulate certain aspects of mobile home parks that are in their communities, like for instance setbacks and so forth, and also to be on the lookout for and it hasn't happened for many years now, for over 10 years, but for a couple of years there was an attempt to make the cities pay for mobile home park residential relocations when there was a closure of a mobile home park by a developer due to that local government's allowing for rezoning or allowing for a different kind of development to occur in that place. So that's the reason why we monitor mobile home legislation. And then also I generally pick out and recommend to you some of the League of Cities priority issues for us to engage in, ones that I believe have either historically been issues for the town of Pembroke Park or something that's of particular interest to an individual commissioner or to the commission as a whole. Now, the League of Cities has not yet adopted their legislative program for 2021. And that'll happen in November, I believe November 12th. They're meeting to give the final approval to their policy statements, to their priority issue statements, excuse me. And that is a good way to segue into an important event that happened just recently, that Vice Mayor Clark and I were involved in the Land Use and Economic Development Policy Committee for many years. And as we have been reporting to you from time to time, the Ad Hoc Committee on Annexation, a subgroup of that group, working on annexation legislation, different issues, many of which don't affect us, but one in particular that does is the one that we've talked about so much, which would prohibit one city from just annexing part of another city without their permission. And the really good news is that this time around, for the first time, it's taken us years to get to this place, but for the first time, they have chosen annexation as their #1 priority issue. So we will now have the full backing of the League of Cities in our efforts, to take on this issue and protect the town. And another thing that I need to tell you in this regard, and I know that some people in the town have said, oh, there's no such thing. It's a boogeyman, and it's not real. Well, we know that it is. And the most recent evidence of that is I was obtained, or it was shared with me anonymously, some text messages, a text message exchange between soon-to-be State Senator Chevron Jones and former West Park City Commissioner and candidate for the legislature, Brian Johnson. And in that exchange, they talk about merging the two cities. And Chevron Jones says unequivocally that in January, when the Broward delegation meets to take up issues and so forth, that he plans to ask the delegation for authority. And I don't know how they're going to fund it or anything, and he wasn't specific about that. But anyway, he's going to ask for a feasibility study to study whether or not it would be make financial sense or be in the best interest to merge the two cities. And so this, so this is real. I mean, it's not something that I'm making up or that Commissioner Clark is making up. It's real, and it's coming, assuming that he follows through with it. But in any case, that's kind of an overview of the substantive portion. And then I included in this paper basically policy statements from last year that we took a position on, and some other issues that the town commission actually, as we grew into the legislative year, the town commission passed some resolutions. I think Commissioner Jacobs had a resolution on natural resource, preserving water resources and ocean outfall and some issues like that. I believe that's included. If it isn't, I'll include it in a final draft. And then obviously in the final draft, we'll pick out the new policy statements and include those. Excuse me. And then also it's for the policymakers. If you see this document and look through it, and there's something that you're interested in that you've heard about, that may come up in the legislature or may not. Maybe it's just an issue that bugs you or you've noticed. Legislative issue, which, and as I said, with COVID and all the stuff that's going on, we don't even know if we're going to be allowed in the Capitol building for the organizational session on November 17th. I can't get anybody to tell me. I couldn't get the clerk's office to answer their phone. As far as I know, the Capitol building is currently shut down. And I've spoken to all the members of the lobby team, many of whom were unable to join the call tonight, or several were unable to join the call tonight because they are campaigning. Tis the season. But I did speak with everybody on the team about one aspect of the legislative program or another, and it seems to be the consensus that nobody knows what the protocols are going to be. And I also spoke with a couple of representatives, Representative LaMarca, who is up here Pompano Way, and he didn't know. He's a Republican, and you would think that at least the Republicans would tell their own members what the protocols are going to be, but he doesn't know. We don't know if we're going to have a special session. We know the governor wants one having to do with his anti demonstrator violence initiative or ideas. The folks that I talked to about it are not really particularly, they don't really think that the legislature is going to do that, but they could. If they do, it'll probably be designed and to coincide the organizational session, or it could happen in the early part of December. We don't know if we're going to have committee meetings in December. I've heard from a number of sources, and I'm hearing this, it's beginning to sound like a consensus, is that they're not going to have interim committee hearings until January. That's kind of the sort of I kind of drifted off into sort of a discussion of what's going on in Tallahassee right now. Let's see, what am I? Oh, and then the last thing that that needs to be, you all need to talk about, and we need to develop, and it doesn't really have to be done tonight, because as I said, we don't know what the legislative emphasis is going to be this year. We don't know where the focuses are going to be. And then with respect to member projects, that's always something that's a part of the package. And then Connie's here tonight. I think Dee is here tonight to, if you have some questions about different kinds of grants or legislative budget requests, they're available to talk about that. And I'll probably, if it's all right with the mayor and with JC, I'll call on each of them to make comments in that area. But what I would say, just overall, is that what I did in the paper is I basically included last year's priority list, just to sort of I don't know, remind everybody of these were the kinds of projects we were looking at, and thereby create a discussion amongst you all, because you're the policymakers. You have to tell us what it is that you want us to try and get money for, and then our job is to give you the feedback of, well, the legislature doesn't want to fund those kinds of programs, or they haven't funded those in many years, as an example. Or in the case of this septic to sewer, we know that was a priority last year, and we're pretty sure it's going to continue to be a priority, because the state has mandated that that this happen by a certain period and by a certain date, as an example. And the other thing that I think are pretty sure that you're going to want us to include as we go looking for pots of money that we can hopefully get money from is anything having to do with law enforcement, establishing establishing a police department, funding a police department, training, equipment, anything that has to do with a local government's police department. We will be looking either for grants or for there are legislative budget silos that have law enforcement money in them, and we can look at that and see what kinds of things we might be able to, what kinds of projects might be able to be funded, in that way. So, and then obviously, I assume that there still continue to be drainage and stormwater and sewer needs in the town, and so we're always on the lookout for things like that. So I don't know, Mayor JC, where do we want to go from here? Do you want to have Connie or Dee talk about budget, grants and budget, or do you want the commissioners to ask questions? Or
Actually, I think we should open it up to the commission right now, if they have any questions or comments. And Dave, thank you very much, by the way, Dave, for a great presentation. Appreciate it.
Okay. Who's chair? Is the mayor chairing?
I can come back. I have service again.
No, I'm doing that as a reminder. You have a chair here. Okay, Gina, you're recognized.
Okay, I just want to say, David, thank you. And yes, stormwater and sewer, big issue. So make sure that's, on there.
And priority also on the sewer, David, would be rehabilitation or repair or replacement of sewer lines and stations.
And
So
pumps.
that also, yeah, the whole thing, right, Gina? Yep. Okay, so is there, Madam Mayor, you have anything else to say on this, or anything you want? Ray? Madam Mayor?
Yeah, I still want to work on the septic to sewer lines, especially over there on 30th Avenue. I know in the past we had looked at, we had looked at trying to find some funding sources out there to try to, help complete the area, because the county had did a program where they were supposed to come in and complete the area, and they have kind of bypassed us, and now they're currently working on Miramar. They started from the beach and they've been working their way progressively west, so they're actually up to University right now. And so we need to find some funding to complete that aspect of our city. One of the things that I had asked Todd to look in before he left also was for parks, if we can get some money for a water pad. And so I'm not sure if it ever made it to your radar, Dave or Dee, but it's definitely something that I would like to see is, us being able to actually, put some more things into the park. And also I know Dee has been working diligently with the rehabbing of the mobile homes. Uh-oh, Dave, you can't hear me?
Yeah, Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, now what was that first thing you said about parks? I missed.
Water pads.
Oh,
I mean, one of those, like the splash pad that the water comes out and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so Todd was looking into trying to find some funding sources for that. And then I also was talking about the mobile home rehabs that Dee's been working so hard with code enforcement on. If we could, try to find, whatever other avenues to kind of get these mobile homes rehabbed, that would be great.
And I want to point out to the commission that we have filed, and Connie can talk on this, about the septic to sewer. That has been a renewed grant application that we've applied for. And is Connie nearby, and she could talk about the sewer, any rehabilitations, anything regarding any sewer drainage, and maybe she can pipe in here and tell the commission where we are right now with that, because the commission's already moved forward. We know that sentiment. Connie?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you.
The project, the septic to sewer system project that was put in last year's legislative budget request was submitted to the FDEP water quality portal. And the ask last year was 2.5 million. And that same request was submitted to DEP. And it's still pending. They're working through their applications. They had over 300, and so if this project you want to continue with the same scope of work and the same amount of ask, we can move. All the details are already here for the House and the Senate legislative budget request forms. We have all that information. Now, if you have new projects with different scopes of work, we'll need to do additional information for the drainage projects, or if you have another septic to sewer project other than this one. The water projects come out of one pot of money. So if you have multiple water projects, you're kind of competing against yourself. So there are times when your legislator will be asked by the speaker or the Senate president, you get one project, which one do you want? So I know they're all important to the town. I mean, you've got lots of public works things to address, but I just wanted to point that out. But each project that you want your legislative member to sponsor and put in as a legislative budget request will need a specific scope of work and a cost estimate, so you know what you're asking for.
Yeah, could I just add something here, Connie, while you're on that? timing is also something that we need to be mindful of, even though we don't know what the deadline. There's always a deadline for member projects to be submitted, and there's really sort of two deadlines. The members themselves will set a deadline. In other words, of the requesters, of people like us, they'll say, well, we want to have all, and I will use a specific example of Representative Geller's office. They sent out a memo to everybody that they serve, and I got a copy of it just because I'm friends with, and they actually said that they would help with our budget requests, since we have a new legislator, as they call her, a rookie, a freshman, coming in, and which was very nice of them. But anyway, they are setting their get it to my legislative office by January 15th. Connie, I don't know if you have what you're hearing out there from your contacts in legislative offices, if you've heard of any. They're asking their cities and their other, whoever requested a member budget request in the past to submit by January 15th. And then the second deadline is going to be the House appropriations submission deadline, which we don't know what that's going to be yet. We don't really even know who the committee chairs are, although I think everybody generally agrees that certain legislators are going to move up. In the Jay Trumbull, for instance, and Representative Trumbull is rumored to be the next House Appropriations chair.
Yeah. I have
ahead.
heard some rumors about the restrictions to get into the Capitol. You're going to have an appointment. You're going to have to sign up on a kiosk type thing, and be there a half an hour ahead of time. There'll be mask required, possible COVID test before you enter the Capitol, and the appointment has to be verified by the host office, and they're asking no legislators not to do group meetings. And you're going to have to leave after your meeting's done. They don't want you hanging around the Capitol. They're trying to keep the separation of folks and the social distancing. And I've heard for the one-day organizational meeting, they usually have a lot of family and friends, and I've heard they're going to limit anybody on the floor, and the family members are going to be put in like a conference room to be able to watch this open ceremonies. So these are not, there's nothing official come out from the Senate side or the House side, but this is information that I've kind of received from third parties.
I don't see.
Yeah,
So-
that's consistent with what I'm hearing more and more. That's exactly consistent, especially the part about having a specific appointment and no loitering in the Capitol, I guess. So it's going to be a very different kind of time, and it may well be that by the time of the regular session in March, I know some members that I've talked to are saying I certainly hope that by then we can be back to something close to normal, but we just we really don't know, and it's going to depend on the pandemic and how the the amount of new cases and the seriousness of those cases and so forth is all things that will be taken into consideration. I know members, for instance, that they don't want to go to Tallahassee at all. If they could do everything virtual, they would do it until there's an absolute cure for it. So I mean, you have those, and then you have others who are why do we have to wear masks? I mean, you got the whole spectrum out there, but I think that the House and Senate leadership, I know the Senate, for instance, has hired Tampa General to develop their medical COVID protocols for the upcoming session. So they're going to be they're going to be listening to the doctors, basically, as to how they conduct business. So what Connie just told you is probably pretty close to what's going to happen.
So what we need like a unified consensus or resolution of your any legislative budget requests, and so we can, you know, move forward once the forms are made available. We can start plugging in the information and getting that in, and if any documentation that that comes along with it would be, a lot of times it's letters of support from the community. If you've had, you know, public hearings on things, sometimes those documents are important, that they show that there's community support for your project. Sometimes, if like for the flooding, we've had pictures that we've used in the past of the, you know, your flooding issues to incorporate with the stormwater drainage legislative budget requests. So there's a little preparation that goes into each of your project when you're asking for your legislator to sponsor your projects where you're needing funding, assistance funding as well, you know, in addition to any grants that have been filed. And if any of the projects change because of the grant money you have received, and you still need additional funds to help those projects go along, we can modify what we did last year and change the request if that's still on the radar, like the John P. Lyons one.
And I would say, commissioners, that all the drainage is necessary wherever we can get it, when we can get it. And in particular, John P. Lyons, we have several areas that still are potentially hazardous, that can flood and cause a lot of damage. And so I know Connie knows all these. We just need a consensus from the commission that I would say anything with drainage, anything with sewer that staff approves and the manager, I think we move forward that and we bring that back in a resolution. I guess the next meeting, is that what you're looking for, Dave? Bring a resolution back to you? How have you done it in the past? How did we do it last year?
Well, we had a list, and the commission, you know, said, okay, these couple of, I think we picked out, Connie, how many, 4 or 5 projects?
Yeah, and if I remember right, I was part of the capital improvements project listing. You had the town hall hardening, the septic to sewer, you had a county line road safety project, the John P. Lyons. So those were and the community garden. That was last year's legislative budget request.
Okay, so I would suggest that we keep it the same and add more if you have others that you can think of. But we know that's the hardcore of what we've got to do in the town, and start with the sewer also, and come forward with a master plan of the sewer and drainage. Then we can identify more of these problems, just like we got to see where flooding could still potentially exist with this last storm event that we just had. So I think it's positive, and we'll go forward, and you guys do your job and bring us back not a bucket of money, bring us back a dump truck of money.
Hey, Dave, quick question for you.
Yeah.
Has the governor put out his priority list yet?
No, not that I know of.
Okay.
And that's the other thing I
That's
wanted
probably
to,
coming soon, yeah.
yeah, that's the other thing I wanted to add to this. A couple of comments. First of all, and you know, I spoke with Richard Coates today, and we talked about. I've had this conversation, a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. We don't know that there's going to be any money for any projects. We know that there is a fairly significant, there is going forward, I think Connie has the exact number, but I think it's in the neighborhood of $3.5 billion. They anticipate that there's going to be a shortfall. The way that money will be made available to local governments, and this is what Richard, I share Richard's opinion, this is his opinion, and I agree with him, is if the federal government finally comes through with another COVID relief package, super package that includes money that will find its way down to local governments. In other words, a chunk that'll go to the states, and then the states will do what they did before. They will chunk it out to the counties, and the counties will then have their arms twisted until they give up some of it to the cities. But here's the thing, we have to have a list ready, because if it rains, we need to be out there with the buckets. If we don't have any buckets, it's going to rain, or it might rain, and we won't get anything. So we have to be prepared and ready to go after money if and when it becomes available. But I just want you to understand that absent that, it's going to be a very, very lean year. I mean, I think they may still make some money available. That's why it's important for us to listen very closely during the organizational session. That's when the new presiding officers will give you a pretty good message, a pretty good signal as to what their priorities are going to be. In the last 2 or 3 Senate presidencies, the priority has been on water resource issues. This may or may not continue with the new president. In the Senate and the House, it's been a variety of things, mostly bad, deregulation, and so forth. But that is a time when we will be able to get our first hint as to what these guys are going to push, and that's where you want to be. If somebody comes out and says, one of those guys comes out and says, we have got to bear down on this septic to sewer thing and get this solved. We've only got a couple years left before we hit the deadline that we ourselves set. If I hear that, then I'm going to say, let's push that to the front of the line and try to make sure we get in there and get some of the money that we know that presiding officer will have prioritized. And if that happens to be what it is, we don't know. We know that the governor is interested in law enforcement, and that may be useful to us in terms of the fact that you all you are initiating your own police force. So these are things that we have to pick up on and try to work in creatively to make our needs fit into their priorities. I guess that's the best way to put it. I don't know, Connie, you have anything to add to that, or Dee?
I did see an article, Senator Simpson, who's going to be the next president, is looking to continue boosting up the springs cleanup, as well as the northern, the cleanup before the waters enter into the Lake Okeechobee Basin. So he's looking for more northern storage projects to help clean up the water coming into the area from Osceola, Orange, some of the upper communities north of Lake Okeechobee Basin. I did see that. So that would be, a lot of that's going to be Water Management Army Corps, but that also kicks into the water quality program that DEP had last year, which we applied for the grants for. That was a $25 million line item. Hopefully they'll increase that, which will provide another opportunity to submit for grants. So water quality is going to be on their radar again from when I heard exactly how much funding is going to be available. And that deficit they were talking about, it's $3.4 billion. And then the following year, it's like $2 billion, $1.2 billion. I mean, but they're going to have another estimating revenue conference in December, I believe, to reevaluate, because September's estimating revenue came in a little higher than anticipated. That's part of my report for October. I'm putting that in. So things are getting better because they opened up the state a little bit. But, now we're seeing a different trend with based on all the reports for the COVID, but with like a second round. But it doesn't, everything's still up in the air. Nothing's concrete. We just kind of move forward. They have already, their scheduled events in Tallahassee already. League of Cities has got, they're on the radar for they call it legislative action days. They're showing up to be in April. And Broward Days, is set up for March. So we're not sure how they're going to handle all these large groups coming in, other than what I've read here. So people are still moving forward like it's a normal year with scheduling conferences and activities up there.
JC,
So,
Yeah, Mayor, if I may, I would recommend that we just put the projects forward. Any that have to do with sewage, sewer, septic to sewer, especially that project, the stormwater. I also do want to add any possibility for law enforcement grants to offset the cost of us starting our own police department. I think that's important. And then I would also recommend that, as far as your splash pad, the splash pad at the park, I think we can, work with Connie, apply for a FERDAP grant, and see, or any other parks grants. I have to make sure that we get it onto the capital improvement list, because I'm not sure if it was listed on there.
I have an old list, and I don't.
It wasn't on there. Todd had discussed it a couple times. We actually had been having a discussion with Tom. Tom was, opposed to it, but he's also opposed to swings and playgrounds. So we've been fighting having a discussion, but it never made it onto any of the list. There should be
Okay.
We'll have to make sure that we get it on the list before we do apply for. I know the FERDAP requires it, and I think most others do, but Connie will correct me. She's the expert.
The item 10 that I have was a tot lot at Oglesby Preserve, so that's not the same thing to incorporate that into that one. Okay, I just.
Okay.
Mayor,
D.
can I make a suggestion going forward? Perhaps Connie, you all will authorize Connie and myself to work with JC and Miriam in developing the specifics, like for instance, what you're talking about, getting this on the capital improvement program, this slip and slide or whatever it is. Sounds like fun, actually. Bring Avery there, my granddaughter. She'd love it. So we can, I guess, so we can move on, because we need to come back with a very specific list, and then for Connie and I to but really mostly Connie, filling out those forms, we need specific information and specific projects in order to apply. And that's my suggestion anyway, going forward.
Okay, so when I do that, Madam Mayor?
Just to add on that, if we can, I'll work with David and Miriam and the whole lobbying team, and we'll come up with the list. We'll put it on the next agenda for approval, if that's okay. And if
That's
there's any
okay. So ordered. Do you want me to keep sharing it, Madam Mayor? Can you take it? You want to spice?
Yeah, I can take it. I got service back. We have those fires out here, so service has been kind of iffy today. They've actually sent out a notice to evacuate about 30 minutes ago for this area.
Oh my.
Yeah, so it's been interesting. Dee, could you tell us about any unencumbered funds, or if there's any, or what do you have for us?
Well, I don't believe that there are going to be any unencumbered funds, because right now, Revenue Estimating Conference has determined that we're probably going to be at about a $3 billion shortfall already, and a little bit more the following fiscal year. But what I would like to talk about is the availability of SHIP funds. And Howard will tell you that we fought for mobile home parks to be included and authorized to use Sadowski funds. And right now, the CARE Act absorbed so much money in the name of being prepared for COVID. And as we see the state attempting to open up, DEO is beginning to transfer the monies back to some of the programs that they robbed them from during the past session. And one of them is the monies from the SHIP program, which have been returned. The problem is I've been attempting to contact the folks at the Broward SHIP office to no avail. But I believe that that would be a great funding source for the idea behind the neighborhood improvement program that we've been discussing. And one of the factors of the neighborhood improvement program that I would suggest is that the program start off as being a program that would pay for mobile home repairs. And the devil is in the details, but I believe if we get the monies to do it, surely internally some type of application process can be put in place so that those mobile home parks mobile homes that need repair or who have been cited for specific codes can get some subsidy there. Also too, with the police department funding, and I know this is the #1 top priority, there's going to be some discussions about criminal justice efforts by way of the governor and his anti-protesting, and FDLE funds would be coming out of the Office of Criminal Justice grants. And I think that we need to look at that as a funding source, as well as pass-through funds coming from the feds from a program which is the Burn JAG federal program. And right now it's got $20 million in it. So that's a second pool of money that would pay for the police department's equipment and training. Also too, Connie and I talked about last week about some other low-hanging fruit that's coming out of the CARE Act. But like I said, the devil is in the details because it's so much money. It hasn't been utilized. I don't think that it would be utilized to the extent that they would spend all the money. So I'm not sure if you call that unencumbered or if you call that money that was robbed from Peter to pay Paul. And so now you've got to give the money back to Peter. So as I said, the devil is in the details, but legislatively, I believe we're on the right track, and the funding sources will basically be worked out during the budget process. And that is money for the FERDAP grants and that funds our park projects and hopefully the water pads. But first and foremost, my main focus is on funding the police department. And with that, I close unless there are other
I have a question.
questions.
Madam Mayor?
Yeah.
Madam
Go
Mayor?
ahead.
Okay, so today JC and I talked at length. I have on the agenda property standards. We have noticed that there's several properties throughout the town that they need help. And maybe this SHIP program, including one mobile home park, maybe this SHIP program can help us. So JC and I will call you.
Yes,
and
please.
talk it over and see where you can fit us in and the other items. And I just want to point out to the commission that last year, the last session, we did get a FERDAP grant approved for us, and we're working on that one right now. That is the pathway out in the food forest. And there's many other grants that we have hanging that are coming in. So if things go really bad up there, we still have these grants that we have that are going to benefit the town. So we're not at a total loss if everything goes south and there's not a lot of money up there. We still have FEMA, we still have John P. Lyons. We have many things to work on and keep us going while we're getting more money. And I'd like to say thank you to Connie, Dee, and David.
And thank you, Vice Mayor. And lastly, I'd probably need to, have this conversation offline, and that is whether the town has applied for CSBG, Community Service Block grants. Vice Mayor, you'd be happy to know that after doing a little research last week, CSBG grants were distributed last year, and they were used for community gardens.
We'll be talking tomorrow.
Yes, sir. You can call me at any time.
Just hang on to that money. Okay.
You call me anytime.
Hey, D, it's been a long time, right, with annexation?
Who are you telling? And it just won't die.
It won't die.
I just don't understand. But we're happy to say, and that's something that David probably would tell you all too, is that we have fostered a relationship with Marie Woodson, hopefully the representative-elect who would be replacing Chevron Jones. I've had an opportunity to speak with her weekly since over the last month and a half, and she really gets it. And I don't think that she's going to be a pushover for some of the annexation. I kind of soft shoed and said, hey, well, you need to be aware of some of these issues that may be coming before you prior to getting to Tallahassee. Annexation is one of them. So David has got her, and Connie have both got her on speed dial. They've got her cell numbers. And so I'm sure your lobbying team will be meeting with her soonest after November the 4th to discuss, any efforts dealing with annexation. There is a legislative delegation meeting, opening meeting next week. And David, I will send you what I received this afternoon from Andrea.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, good.
It's actually November 9th.
Yeah. That's kind of like next week.
You lost a week.
Listen, I always work a week in advance because you never know.
I hear that.
Is that virtual? Is that a virtual meeting?
No, it's going to be
no, it's a
board.
It's a face-to-face.
Yeah, it's going to be at the just the Broward District School offices boardroom or.
Wow, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And D.
Yes, sir.
I hate to put you on the spot, but what year was it that we first met with Segerson and we started working on this annexation?
That had to be 1998. That's how long we have been fighting this good fight, but good job. I want to commend you and David and whoever sat on that committee that was able to get annexation as the league's priority, because that means a whole lot of manpower, be it walking the halls if we're allowed, or phone calls and letters and other advocacy tools that we have. So good job for them.
That was me. I'm the chair of the ad hoc committee on annexation.
Well, hats off to you, because we don't have any friends. And when it comes to annexation, it's kind of turned into an every man for himself kind of ball game, and that's how we fought since 1998. But now I think that we've got, with your efforts and Dave's,
everybody.
Everybody doing the heavy lift. I think that we've done a great job in staving them off thus far, and even more so. I'd like to, I won't belabor the point, but we need to talk about economic development opportunities for Pembroke Park small businesses. And there's going to be a lot of money for that, but I don't know, with so many ideals and projects that are much needed, like the sewer and Commissioner Cohen's mobile home park, rehabs and that type of thing. Small businesses kind of fall through the cracks.
Well, we got to bring that up. That's up on my committee. So we need to get together and bring that forward and work on this free trade zone. I still would like to do that.
Oh my gosh, I'm glad you said that, because there's tons of money, but Vice Mayor, I will tell you, the problem is the paperwork and getting your documentation and continued documentation, when you do create the zone and you receive all of the funding resources, because it entails creating public-private partnerships with your general contractors and everyone. So that's like a whole nother legal, our new addition to Pembroke Park attorney will be just inundated with trying to get the contracts and everything. It's not as easy as it seems, but we can work it.
Yep.
We can work it.
Mayor,
Okay.
just so we can continue moving it along, we do have a long agenda. I do want to get the obviously your consensus. I'll get with the lobbying team and with Miriam, get the projects and get them at the next at the commission meeting. Is that okay?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
All right, awesome. All right, thank you, and thank you, Dave. Thank you to the team. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Bye, Dee, Connie, and Dave.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, and we'll be in touch and move forward and do what we can for the town, as we always have.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you, guys. You guys do a great job, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Number 6.2, Broward Sheriff's Office. I see BSO is on the line. I don't know if Captain Coker, do you have anything you wish to add? I know the report's in the book.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. Captain Stephanie Coker. Yes, we attached the monthly numbers for the month of September, which weren't too bad at all for the month of September. But I also want to let you guys know that Lieutenant Christopher DiGiovanni, who's been with us for the last 5.5 years, has had an opportunity to be promoted to captain, and he's been moved to another district. So with that said, I do have a new lieutenant. This is his first week in the district. His name is Lieutenant Gerard Charles. I forward all his contact information to you all. And he comes with 20 years of experience with the agency, and he's been in different divisions and units, and he comes with great wealth and knowledge. And I truly look forward to introducing him to you all at a later date. But I just want to let you guys know that we've had a few changes here in the district, but they're good changes. And we're going to miss Lieutenant DiGiovanni, well, now Captain DiGiovanni. But he's on to new endeavors, and we're really happy for him. That's all I have, unless anybody has anything for me.
Congratulations to him. Please tell him.
Yeah, send him
Will
all our
do.
best.
Yeah.
Tell him he's always
Surely.
welcome to the park, though. If he ever gets bored, wherever they send him.
Okay, I will definitely let him know. Thank you.
Or he can come on the weekends and do details. Thank you. Are you also covering Captain Kane?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I don't know if he's on the line, but we have his report. So if he's not on the line, if anyone, well, caller 8 unmuted, so maybe. Is that Captain Kane? No? Okay. So if anyone has any questions, they can contact Captain Kane, but his report, he has his reports in the backup. Number 6.4, Building Department report. Miguel, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, Mayor Mohammed, Vice Mayor Clark, and Commissioners. My name is Miguel Nunez, Building Official. At this point in time, I'm presenting the reporting period for the September 2020 and also the closing of the basically fiscal year 2019-2020. As I previously mentioned, the building department staff continue to perform plans, review in electronic format. And this is because of the non-contact approach with the staff and customer. Also, I would like to point out that because of the electronic plans review, this has become, and it has been determined that to be an asset of efficiency for the building department. So now we are spending less time performing plan review and doing it in a more efficient way for our customers and our contractors and residents. Also, we're performing virtual meetings in our teleconferences, and it appears that this is going to continue while the COVID-19 continues. Now, by the numbers, On September, basically, our permit issue went a little bit down. We're assuming because of what's happening worldwide. Commercial and residential, when commercial went a little bit down, residential up. But we have an advantage that we increased the permits closed and the inspection were actually increased during the previous month. Also, we have additional counter visits in regards to the in regards to the previous month. In regards to the revenue, we actually finished the fiscal year strong with a total of 616,000 and change. During the September, we only collected 29,000 and change. So basically, we collected enough for the building department, and that also was reflected into the previous past fee schedule, where we decreased the fees, the permit fees and associated fees for the building department in an exchange between 22 to 25%. In my report, as you can see, you're going to have the large construction project summary. One thing that I would like to add is that finally we started the building 5 is DRC, and we expected to have building 5 in Seneca. I forgot to mention is a DRC, and we expect it to be submitted shortly to the building department. And one of the most other projects that we have in process is the shopping center at 4250 West Highlander Beach Boulevard. Basically, that concludes my presentation. As every month, I want to thank you for your support and for everything that you guys do for the town. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Okay. Thank you, Miguel. Does anyone have any questions?
No, thank you.
6.5 code enforcement. Jeffrey, I saw Jeffrey. Where's Jeffrey? Jeffrey, are you there?
I'm here. Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners. Jeffrey Lewis, Chief Code Enforcement Officer for Pembroke Park. Reporting for the month of September, the 1st through the 30th. In regards to the number of notice of violations that were written, let's see here. We have 7 notice of violations and 6 courtesy issues that was issued for the month of September. And just showing a couple of the projects that were completed throughout the month of September, including Chevron gas station, 3700 West Holmdel Beach Boulevard. They are cleaning up their property, installing new trees, but one of the major things that we had was the back buffer wall that was dirty and it needed to be cleaned and repainted, in which they've taken care of. On Pembroke Road, Public Storage was doing a new interior renovation and they had illegal structures that was taken care of. They recently finished that project to where we are able to close out that code enforcement case as well. And just around town, we've been making sure that things are in proper order, including down cable lines that was noticed between Code and Public Works, in which they were able to restore that, and maintaining properties throughout town. The photo that I inserted was the Southwest 25th Court, also known as the Finger, in which they cleaned up the property. We're still in communications with other maintenance issues, but they are cleaning up their property. Does anyone have any questions or concerns for code enforcement?
Jeffrey, were you able to get, what's that street where the racetrack and 6th Garage? 31st? Is that 31st?
On Hollandale?
Yes, that's 31st Avenue, correct.
Are you able to get them to clean up those wires there? Because when you drive down the street, there's just a lot of wires that are just laying in the ground. And I know they're all
donkey line walkway with the cable, the orange cables.
No, they were black cables, but they were just laying on the ground. Like the poles were there, but they were just laying on the ground.
Right. I know there was an issue with Comcast Cable with burying their cables after they did installation or change and repairs on their line. We have reached out before. We'll go ahead and reach out again.
Okay, thank you. Okay, no, I don't have any questions. Looks good. Does anyone else have any questions of Jeffrey? No? Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
Okay. 6.6 finance report, bills over 500. Does anyone have any questions about bills over 500? No, then that could be moved over to consent. BTR, Michelle. Michelle?
I haven't seen her, Mayor.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, she's there. She's there.
Next to Jocelyn. But I don't know. Okay. So I know that Michelle has her monthly report there, and then she's asking for a waiver of the late fees for a Jan Studio LLC. And it's just the late fee, so I'm assuming it's based on what I'm seeing. I'm not sure. It's $52.49.
I believe that's correct.
That's correct.
Okay.
It's about $52, so.
Okay, because it printed twice, so that's why I wasn't sure. I was like, is it 2 times or is it just 1? Okay, so if anyone doesn't have any objections to waiving the late fees for Jan Studio, that can be put on consent for $52.49. Anyone have any objections to it going on consent? Nope. Okay, so then we'll put that on consent. And that will take care of 6.8. 6.9, public services monthly report. Does anyone have any questions of Miriam? Yes, no? If not,
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Miriam, any update on those boxes by the bus stops?
Miriam, are you there? I don't see her name on here anywhere. Oh, wait, there she. Miriam, can you unmute?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Ray, what can you repeat again?
Those silver boxes on Hollandale Boulevard next to the bus stops. Any update on those?
Those have been removed long time ago.
No, they're still there.
First time you, we removed all the ones that. Sorry. We removed all the ones from newspaper, and then the other ones happened to be county. But I'll double check again to. Tomorrow, but I was under the impression we removed all of them.
You broke up for about 30 seconds. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I'm sorry. To repeat, all the newspaper stand that were there and the empty ones were removed.
Right, those are gone. But
the silver boxes that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
You keep breaking up.
I'm having trouble.
Might be connection issue.
Commissioner, if you want, I'll give you a call and we'll just get those. If they're still there, we'll take care of those right away. And if they can't for some reason, we'll explain why.
Okay.
If everybody can mute themselves, that may be what's happening. If you could please mute yourself if you're not talking.
Gina.
Miriam, the update on the emergency pump on the walkway in the the Howard Senior Clark walkway.
I talked to the rep again one more time this morning, today, and they told me that they ordered the parts. Unfortunately, that wasn't done yesterday as they promised. They had a confusion that was internal in their organization, not ours. And they say that as they will receive it sometime at 10 o'clock and install it afterward, tomorrow. In the meanwhile, as you can see, Commissioner Cohen, we maintaining the lake level and not flooding.
Well, it's been over the seawall, but hopefully we'll get that part and the mechanic will be able to put it in and we'll have that pump running, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Commissioner Jacobs?
Sorry, Commissioner Jacobs, unmute.
Okay, this list here that you have of all these items in your memo, are these all projects that have been approved, or are these shovel-ready projects? Are these dream sheet projects? What are all these?
Okay. I tried to separate it into two. So the one that you must be talking about all those projects, the major projects, except for the last two, which I mean the last, take a look. I think it's the last four, starting from the educational building, the DEP, the two DEPs, and the ones for the master plans. Those have not been approved, but everything else has been a project that we apply for grants and receive the grants. And I have some other ones that I've been adding. This is my wish list is, and I do have a wish list that we added for the next meeting.
Okay, hold on.
Commissioner, just to add to what she was saying, there's a number of them that are in the design phase. But we did get grants for the design of those. So we do have, like items 3 and 4, for example, on the report, those we got design funds for. So those are obviously in the design phase, or soon to be. They're getting the RFPs for the design right now. Some of the other ones, items 13 and 14, those are the master plans that were discussed last week at the last meeting. And then, let's see here. The educational center, which was discussed previously, that's in the grant phase, so that's not even designed or anything yet. Let's see here. The county line number 6 is also in the design phase. That one, there's some easement issues that we have to overcome there.
Yes.
So most of these are just, a lot of these are in the design phase, but regardless, all these will come back to you for approval.
Okay, I just don't want it thrown at us. Oh, they were all put in front of you already. You've already seen this. This is a lot of stuff here that really needs in detailed discussion with the commission on, not just a little paragraph when these things come forward.
And if I may, Madam Mayor, that's why each month that list should change and a current status of it should be there. That's what we're doing here. And these are all active issues. So that's why that's there. And if there's any questions, we're here to answer them. And that's why I feel so positive, Madam Mayor. That's why I feel so positive, because even though we're getting a report that things might not be so good this year for appropriations, so forth, so on, well, we still have these that we've acquired. And as everybody that works in this, they know it takes, you don't just get it and it's done. It takes a long time to work it. That's why we have this list here to monitor it. And between JC, myself, and Miriam, we keep a close eye on it, and the commission, because it comes up in front of you. So that's what we have, and we do this every month.
No, thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Howard. We know you guys have been doing a good job on working on these projects. I do want to just make one suggestion, and I'm not sure we've done it in the past, but we've been able to possibly merge the funding sources together. If we do get awarded the educational center and promotional facility, if we can use that and merge that with the CDBG money from the ADA bathrooms into one building, that would be, we might be able to get more bang for our buck with that. And so it's something that, you might want to consider. I'm not sure, when will we know whether or not the educational center is approved for the grant? Do you guys have any idea?
Well, it's being worked on. It's been submitted by Connie, unless Connie's online and she can answer that specifically. But let me mention about the bathroom. The bathroom is going to be in another area of the park, and it's being put there as a service. In other words, you have people going around. It's a pretty large park, and you need an additional bathroom back somewhere else. It was never intended for it to be another building. We have a building right now that's going up front if we get the grant. So you have to understand that this is like a satellite bathroom.
No, I know that it is, but it's something to consider with since we're getting $1 million, hopefully we'll be getting $1 million for the facility, but that way we can build a bigger facility if you take the 100,000 from the bathrooms and put it and merge it into the same new facility. We've done it in the past where we've taken the money and not reallocated it because it still served the purpose of being the function of what the grant was originally for. But to put it together, and you could possibly build, instead of a 2,800 square foot, maybe you could build a 4,000 square foot building.
Gotcha. And we'll look at that tomorrow.
Mayor, before we continue with that discussion, let's focus on getting the grant first. We haven't even seen a design or anything, and I don't think the commission has even decided on what this building's going to look like. So we'll take it one step at a time before we start adding square footage to that. But it needs to come back to the commission for their discussion as far as the design and what they want to see inside of it.
Yeah, no, I just know that we have it out there, so I was just kind of putting it out there that since we haven't done anything as far with the CDBG, but we have the money earmarked for it. If hopefully if we get the grant money, we can possibly merge it together and get more bang for our buck. Go ahead, Commissioner Jacobs. Sorry, go ahead, JC.
I completely understand your comment there. I just wanted to make it because I know this item hasn't really come in for an official vote as far as this project, and so I do want to let the rest of the commission know that yes, that when the design comes in, we'll have a discussion about the design and what they like, what they don't like, if they don't want it at all or whatever. It's obviously pending grant approval, right? So I just wanted to let the rest of the commission know that.
Okay, thanks. Okay, go ahead, Commissioner Jacobs.
Miriam, you brought up lift station 15 before, and I see it's on here again, and it says decision town will upgrade lift station 15. What was the issue with this, and why are we upgrading it, and where's the funding coming from on this one?
Yes. I'm sorry, you woke up. Can you repeat?
Okay, you brought up lift station 15 before, and I see it on here again saying there were some issues with it, but now it says that we're going to upgrade the lift station. What's the issue with this? Because this is like the second time I've seen this thing pop up, and what's the issues here, and where's the funding coming from, and how much is it going to cost to upgrade the lift station?
Okay, this is a lift station that belongs to the town as compared to a private one, which is lift station 11. Part of the impact fee that the developer pays for is for connection to the sewer system, for the town sewer system. So if it happens to need any type of improvement in order to prepare for the connection, the town is responsible for doing that. And that's what's going on with this particular project. This is the shopping center, as you know, that's going to be that's being built right now. And in their design, they're supposed to connect to the town sewer lift station. They're not having their own private one. And that particular one is seems to be under capacity, and it's really old and aging. So we need to bring it up to upgrade it. And that's why it says that the town will be doing that. And we met with the contractor and the engineer for the project.
Okay, so how much is this going to cost to upgrade this?
At this moment, we're looking for, we just went out for a quote, it's somewhere between $30,000 to $80,000.
Okay, and then lift station 11, is this the one for my park?
No. Yours is 18. This one is
Okay.
a private one. This is the one where the lady wanted to connect to Broward.
Okay,
Lift station 11, we're dealing with that.
okay. And okay, that's all I have.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Madam Mayor,
And I'm sorry, just a minute, Commissioner Ray, I'm sorry now that everybody can hear me. Can you, I couldn't hear your full questions.
Yeah, I could hear you now.
Okay.
Well, JC said he would look into it.
Yeah,
the
Miriam,
solar boxes.
we'll get together tomorrow and we'll take care of it, okay?
Okay, sorry.
But I do have a question about, I think it's AT&T that was installing those power lines on 52nd.
It was FPL.
Okay, FPL. Well, do you know if they're done? If they're
It's ongoing, they're changing poles throughout town.
okay, so
Are
they
you looking for particular?
well, because some of the poles, all the lines are on the cement poles, and then you go about a block down, and they're still on the older wooden poles.
Yeah, they're replacing them one at a time. I didn't see a schedule per se on that. I just know that they're doing it a lot of places in town.
Also, they're hanging really low at some points.
Those will be Comcast or AT&T. Those will be communicated.
Okay.
and then Madam Mayor, there you go.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, okay, I just want to comment, I think we know, Miriam, that there is going to be an upgrade on Station 15, but that'll be coming back to the commission down the road.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you, Miriam.
Thank you.
Okay. 7.1, electrical work for the server room.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Town Manager, Mark Pakula, Director of IT. If I may just try to go through these real quick. 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and 7.7 are all the relocations for our server room. Also making way for the building department and the building that they're going to be doing downstairs. So those 4 items are all everything included in what we're going to be doing. If anybody might have any questions on those, and then I can go down the rest of the line.
No, just which one are you? Okay, so for the electrical work, who are you recommending? Russell, MMJ?
Yeah, Russell Electric for electrical. I worked through it with Mr. Miguel, and we're going to go with Russell for electrical work. And then on the security cameras, we're going to use Vector Security for the next one.
Are we getting upgraded cameras, and are we using law enforcement trust funds to pay for the additional cameras?
No, this is just the moving of the infrastructure of the wiring. We're going to be doing that when we go working with the police force. Once we get the set of blueprints, we're going to be going ahead and upgrading our camera system. We might not even use the police fund money. We may be doing it through the police force itself. We haven't figured it out yet, but this is just for the infrastructure move. This has nothing to do with upgrades. We will be doing all that, making, hardening the building, putting in a lot more. We've had some meetings with David and some security experts on where we want to put new cameras and where we need to upgrade old ones. So that'll be coming forth in the next couple months. And then, so there we go. And then, let's see, the 7.3 is just the construction. What we need to do to prep the room to be ready to move everything. And 7.6 is moving the actual data and phone system wiring up to the 2nd floor that hasn't been moved already.
Okay, so Miriam, sorry, not here. Marlon, can you put these on consent for the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now 7.4, the new workstation.
Yeah, these are just bringing in some workstations for people we're going to be bringing on, and also to have 1 or 2 extras in case something fails. These are budgeted items.
Okay, perfect. And then 7.5, upgrade the backup system.
Yes, we're going with CSPI. They're who we originally purchased the system from. And because we did get that, we get a lot of credits back if we upgrade, which is what we're doing. So that's why I'm recommending CSPI. We're getting probably about a 30 to 40% upgrade over the other two quotes. All they're on state contract, but because we got it from them originally, that's why I'm going with them.
Okay. Okay, and everything you're doing, everything's
Budgeted.
well, not budgeted, but you guys are making sure that y'all are following procurement.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. All done through state contracts.
Okay.
Yeah, JC, that's all okay?
Yes, it's one of those items that I actually pulled from the agenda at the beginning and I was giving Mark a hard time about, but we got it right.
Good job.
Yeah, no, it's not there. And then 7.6 is a 3-year contract with Westlaw for our new in-house attorney. Our attorney's vetted it and she's happy with the contract and what she would need out of it.
Okay, and then so those can all go on consent. 7.8, Wi-Fi for town hall.
Yes, that's the infrastructure for the first 2 floors and the exterior of the building, front and back, for future events for Wi-Fi throughout the town.
Okay,
This is managed
7.9.
infrastructure. 7.9 is migrating our old servers that are very old. This is also a budgeted item and planned. This is the first step in basically shelving all our old servers, pretty much going mostly cloud-based and giving us a lot of disaster recovery in the process.
Okay. All right, so then if anyone doesn't have any questions, all of that will go on consent since it is budgeted and you guys are saying that we're good with, procurement, so we don't have any issues. And we
Okay,
will
so
Yeah, Mike, Mark, 7.8 on Wi-Fi.
Yes.
That's upgrading the current Wi-Fi we have, or that's?
We're not even touching the old Wi-Fi. We're totally going all new, very high secure, very fast throughout the building. And I think what would be cool is we're going to put it on the front and the back of the building, so it'll flood those parking lots when we want to do future events. Have Wi-Fi available for the public when we do those events. Those things can be turned on and off. But yes, no, we're totally bypassing what we have in-house now. Those were just Band-Aids. And now that we have the need for it, this is why we've come up with the solution.
And that's what that T3 line, right, that we purchased?
That'll be feeding off of that line, yes, our data line. We have a 500 meg pipe coming into our building. That'll be feeding off of that also, yes.
Okay, thank you. And Marlon, I know you were asking a question.
yes, I just wanted to make sure because I don't know if you mentioned 7.7. So 7.1 all the way to 7.9, they're all going to go on consent, correct?
Yes, if there's anything that we are purchasing, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Marlon.
Thank you very much, Commissioners.
Okay, thank you, Mark. 8.1, lake patio setback variance. Vice Mayor?
No, that's Miriam.
Okay.
I received a request from a contractor for the home owner, mobile owner that wants to, I think they had a violation on a patio that was out there. And before they go any further, they wanted to know if the town will approve a variance that they requested because the minimum setback from the lake is 10 feet and theirs is between 5. One side is 5, the other side is 7. However, they do meet the home association maintenance setback. I realized there was no plan put with that, so I asked the contractor to submit this, but I haven't received them yet.
Okay, I would suggest that we get to plans where we could see it. I would call and get those plans and then put it on, keep it moving. But I don't know how you can do anything without seeing the plans. So the contractor has to submit those. That's what I would say, if the commission doesn't mind. Madam Mayor, I asked the question.
I agree.
Okay, Madam Mayor, if we could get that.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Okay. 8.2 property standards.
Okay, again, this shouldn't actually be in here. This will come out and it'll be a standalone item. I talked to JC today. We're going to go around. There's several properties and we're going to look at it with Miller and see if we have to come up with more legislation. But better than that, we heard Dee's comments tonight and we will call her ASAP and we'll start picking her brain and telling her the problems that we have. Because the the Conquistador Real, right down the street here, it's deplorable. It has something has to be done. Okay, something has to be done. And this is why we're gonna get together, the manager and I, and start looking into it, see if we can get some kind of money to help them. And so we're going in that direction. We're gonna just start. There's several other properties, like I said. So we'll go and look these up and see what we can do to help.
Just so that I can add one thing, Vice Mayor, as I indicated earlier, the Condado Real issue, it's something that's been on our radar for a while now. As far as building and code compliance, their building is in, well, it's rough shape. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right.
And I am concerned about the safety of the structure. You see pieces of the balcony peeling off and it's just, in rough shape. So I asked also Lucy earlier today to see if Broward County has a 40-year recertification, process like Miami-Dade County does on apartments and condo buildings. So she's looking into that right now. But we're on top of it, and I'll work with the Vice Mayor if to expand on this.
Thank you, JC. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. 8.3 approval to award contract to replace water main line at Town Hall. Who wants to take that? I forgot what.
That's Miriam. I think she's having connection problems. I think Mark needs to go over there and get it set up. If it needs.
So you guys have a proposal from A to Z for $10,697. You have a proposal from
let me go and get her.
Plumber Mike for $6,500, and you have a proposal from Charles Plain Plumbing for $4,750. And I'm just looking to see if there was a recommendation of which company. Yeah. Is there a cover sheet for this? There was no cover sheet, so I can't tell which one they're recommending. I would assume the $4,750 with Charles Plumbing. I'm assuming that. JC, do you have any?
Yes, I believe that is the recommendation. It's the lowest response. I think it's Charles Plumbing.
Okay, so then we can put that on consent for Charles Plain Plumbing for $4,750 to replace the sewer main line.
It's the water service line to the
I'm sorry.
to Town Hall.
Yes, the main water line. Okay, so we'll have that on consent. If there's any discrepancy, which company it was that they wanted to award it to, she can have that conversation with me. Okay. We're gonna go on to.
But I have a question, Mayor.
Okay.
With JC, do you know? Does that mean we'll do the asphalt ourselves?
We're doing what ourselves?
The asphalt, recovering the street afterwards.
This is through the parking lot of Town Hall. It's just the line that connects the water to Town Hall. And as part of their proposal, they are patching the asphalt as well.
Okay, I noticed on there they say they were not doing it.
Exclusion is patching of the asphalt. No, you're right. That means we'd have to do it ourselves. I apologize. I was just looking at it real quickly. Yeah, they would have to. Our crews would backfill it with probably cold patch.
Okay.
Until we redo. I mean, let's face it, the parking lot is in need of resurface, so we probably have to redo the whole thing.
Okay.
So, like I said, Miriam will get with Marlon and figure out which one it is that she was recommending for the approval. And we're gonna move on to 8.4, renovations for public services.
Okay, Madam Mayor and commissioners, as you know, that this has been an ongoing issue. We have a drawing. IT finally came in with a price. Now I have to throw over to Miriam, have an approximate quote, how much we need on this.
If everyone could please mute their mics.
I can't, I'm having technical problems here. I can't get it to mute.
No,
So
sir,
Mark-
you're the reason why I was telling everybody else to mute, because we were having difficulties listening to you. So it was
I
the
know,
opposite.
and I apologize, but there's nothing mechanically I can do unless
It
Mark.
wasn't you, Howard. It wasn't you.
No, sir.
It was Ray. He needed to mute because he was shuffling papers and we heard the paper shuffling.
Oh.
You're fine, Vice Mayor.
Okay, I thought he was eating a sandwich. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, so do you have some numbers for us or?
Yeah, Miriam?
Well, she was having technical difficulties.
Yeah, we have a problem here. That's Miriam and Dan. We're gonna get the numbers up and I don't know what number they have. I'm gonna run over here. If you can skip to the next one and I'll go find out and see what's going on. Be right back.
You can't hear me? Hello?
Oh, we can hear you now, Miriam.
Oh, okay.
But Vice Mayor's running, but it's okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
We requested an estimate from Mark, and Mark came back and gave us an estimate, which I believe I included with my report. It wasn't in there. Mark, you in line? Remember what the estimate was for communication?
Yeah, I'm here. It's been a while. I would say maybe somewhere under $4,000 for just the wiring.
Right, it was 35.
Something under,
Yes.
yeah, something in that nature, just under $4, just to wire the plans you gave me back to the server room.
Okay, great.
Just for the wiring on phones and data.
Let me see, Madam. There we go. Madam Mayor.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Okay, so they're gonna have to come up, the engineer is gonna have to do a best estimate. And I don't know how you wanna do this. I don't know, Miriam, do you have the best estimate on the total cost?
No, I don't. We need to get the furniture and the panels and the communication and yeah.
Okay, so
No, I
maybe, Dan or Miriam will work on this and then we'll get the number. We're getting somewhere. We finally have a plan. We have a quote from IT and now the engineer is gonna have to have a best estimate and then we should have that for you. Is it okay if we bring that forward to this regular meeting, Madam Mayor? In other words, they get the quote within the next week, or you want to put it off to the following month?
Yeah, you need to get the quotes for everything. Go ahead, Commissioner Jacques.
Okay, so we'll do it following month.
I think the proper way to do this is put it on the next workshop so we can go over everything.
Yep.
Without all the information, we don't have a big picture of it.
Exactly. Okay, would you do that, Madam Mayor?
Okay. Okay, so that will be on for the next workshop. If you could please get the total cost for, whatever renovations we need, as well as the furniture.
Yep.
And whatever demolitions, if there's any demolitions or any build out is what I'll say. Whatever the cost to build it out to the specifications of the
Plans.
The plans.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, section 9.1, Charter Review Board.
Oh, well. We'll go
This
to.
is Melissa Anderson, the town attorney. I wanted to, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
I wanted to to speak to the commission about amending the charter through a charter review board, and I've attached a couple things here. The first thing I attached is the state statute section dealing with amending municipal charters. And the second is just an example of an ordinance from Hallandale Beach, which talks about how its charter is amended and also contains a provision about charter review committee. And so I think that it would be in the best interest of the town to undertake a charter review committee, and I would like the town commission to consider that. My recommendation would be that since the mayor is leaving in November, that the commission wait until you have 5 members, whether you do that through an appointment process, which would be sooner, because you would do that 60 days. You would have the opportunity to do that 60 days from the date the mayor's seat is vacant, or whether you do it in March after there's an election. But my thought was that we would set it up so that each of the commissioners would appoint one person from the community from Pembroke Park to sit on the charter review board. I would support the board as legal counsel, and we would undertake a comprehensive review of the charter and to hopefully come up with recommendations to present to the town commission prior to the November election of next year. And so that, in a nutshell, is what this item is all about.
Okay, are there any questions? Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Madam Mayor.
Yeah.
Okay, there's somebody from the public who wants to talk and you skipped it at 8. Oh, no, that's public service. Where is the public comments? If we could go to that. You have somebody that's been sitting in here that wants to go home, but they want to make a public.
Vice Mayor, this is a workshop.
Yeah.
When we have workshops, we usually don't have public comment.
No, the town has always allowed public comments under workshops and commission meetings.
Okay, that's what the wish of the commission is. That's fine. But I really would like to read something into the record before the person speaks, because at the last commission meeting, we had some uncomfortable situation. I feel that it should have been taken care of because this is part of our agenda. And under our agenda, we have where it says decorum, and it says all comments must be addressed to the commission as a body and not to individuals. Any person making impertinent or slanderous remarks or who becomes boisterous while addressing the commission shall be barred from further audience before the commission by the preceding officer, unless permission to continue or again address the commission is granted by the majority vote of the commission members present. No clapping, applauding, heckling, or verbal outburst in support or in opposition to a speaker or to his or her remarks shall be permitted. No signs or place cards shall be allowed in the commission chambers. Please mute or turn off your phones, cell phones, or pagers at the start of the meeting. Failure to do so may result in being barred from the meeting. Persons exiting the chamber shall do so quietly. I'm reading this out because this is the one thing that from day one we adopted into our agendas to make sure that when public comment took place, that it would be done in an orderly fashion. In addition to that, going ahead and having public comment is strictly a one-way conversation where the public comes forth, makes their comment. They have 3 minutes to speak, and then after that, it's completed. If the person has any kind of comments that relates to code enforcement or something else, then the manager or one of the directors with that would be the ones to talk to them after the meeting. But this is not a conversation to be had on the dais between the commissioners and the public. I would highly recommend that you follow these instructions prior to public comment. Thank you all so very much.
Thank you
Hold
for
on,
that.
mute everybody, Mayor? Mayor?
I don't think everybody needs, well, I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't know who the, or are they, I just want, are they speaking in the room with the vice mayor, then just leave it normal?
I can't mute. That's my problem here
No,
now.
you're fine, you're fine. We were
Oh, so you
just
said you had someone with you that wanted to make a public comment, so, okay, that's all. That's fine, I'll leave it alone.
trying to figure out if 8 or 10 were people from the public. That's what we were trying to figure out, that who were there to make public comment. 7, 8, and 10. Okay, go ahead. So we'll just go to public comments right quick so that we can get folks out. I don't know if there's anybody else on the line that's from the public that wishes to speak on any matter. So I'll start with David Roach.
Yes, my name is David Roach, and I'm a resident of Dale Village Mobile Home Park and been a resident of 49 years. My only comment is that I want all the commissioners to think very carefully about who they select to be over our new police department. Very important that the person has a good background, the person knows what they're doing, takes their time, looks at all the objectives, and that's my only statement, is that we take our time and look very carefully at who we select to be over the police department. Now, I am against it. I think the Broward Sheriff's Office has done a wonderful job. It's going to cost us a lot of money. The state's not going to come up with a lot of money, even though they do have some that's put away, because they're going to be stuck with COVID payments. And if it were up to me, I'd ask for a revote and say, go with Broward Sheriff's Office for at least another year so that we don't go into debt. And that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roach. Is there anyone else? Vice Mayor? Hold on. All right, thank you. Vice Mayor, is there anything you is there anyone else?
No.
No? Okay, Mark, can you unmute just to see if there's anybody who wants to?
Yes, no problem. They were unmuted, but let me unmute them again.
Is there, because there's like 3 calls that I can't figure out.
Yep. 7, 8, and 10 are unmuted. Everybody else, if they want to speak, they could.
Okay. Mr. Charles, could you introduce yourself, please, since I see you're still on the line? Or Lieutenant Charles?
Yes, hi, good evening. I'm sorry, I lost the audio on my desktop. I'm actually on my phone and my desktop simultaneously. I am Lieutenant Charles. I joined the team on Saturday, and I'm looking forward to meeting and working with the town, and just glad to be here, and looking forward to working with you.
Okay, nice meeting you, Lieutenant Charles.
Yes, and I look forward to meeting you as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I thank the public for their comments, and it's a pleasure meeting our new lieutenant. And now we're going to go on to 9.2, special election details. Marlon and Vice Mayor. Oh wait, where did Vice Mayor go?
I don't know.
Vice Mayor. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking he must be walking Mr. Roach out. All right, so we'll give him a minute to return. What do we have left? I almost had a potty break, darn it. Okay, Vice Mayor, we're up to 9.2, special election details.
Yeah, I think we've already gone over that. Marlon has, and I don't know if we need that on there again. That's pretty much been discussed, so I would take that off for the next time. But then we don't need that on there again, unless Marlon thinks we do.
Sir, the only reason why we put it back up here is only because I did receive information from the elections department. I'm not gonna get any of the qualifying dates until after the election of November 4th. So I'm not gonna receive any information after that. That was the last update that I had to give all of you. You had asked for me to continue to ask to make sure that we got all the information, and I have. And then I don't know what the commission wants to do as a whole, if they want to, how they want to proceed. I think that that's why the attorney, I placed her on here so that she can speak to all of you about what's the process that needs to take place after the mayor is not on the dais any longer.
Okay, thank you, Marlon.
This is Melissa. I know that we have discussed special election, or that the town commission has discussed special election. You also have the opportunity as a commission to appoint a 5th member, which you can take advantage of. I know that JC and I have discussed possibly putting an application and an ad in town newsletter, asking for applicants if the commission is interested in that. The advantage of that is going to be that you're going to have somebody as a 5th commissioner a lot sooner than you would if you waited for a special election. A, and B, getting back to the Charter Review Commission, you can also start on your charter review a little bit sooner than you would if you waited until the March election. But obviously that's up to the town commission. I did just want to bring to your attention that is also an option.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? No. Then we're going to go on to 9.3, designation of town clerk.
All right, I'll start off with this. When we all ran for this office in the last election, we all qualified in front of Natasha. Natasha was our administrative services director, town clerk, and human resources. She was all 3. Apparently the titles have been blended, and in recent events, our town clerk doesn't have the designation of town clerk. So in her title, we need to change her title just so it says administrative public works, or administrative services director / town clerk. That fixes all the problems. And there's clarification. We all know she's the town clerk. We hired her as the town clerk. She does all the work of the town clerk, but this clarifies her title. So her title actually states administrative services services director, town clerk.
I agree.
Okay, so I'm gonna be the little devil's advocate here. All right, so when we switched over to the administrative services director at the recommendation of Owell Wingo had stated that the administrative service director, that Natasha was doing double duty as both the, triple duty as the town clerk, the administrative service director, and as the HR director. She thought that it would be a better fit for the administrative service director to be the HR director and not be the town clerk, because it was too much responsibility for one person. And if you actually look at even with the backup that you guys put in here for Owell Wingo, she actually stated that the town clerk should be a different person, even as you look through even the best practices on page 191, 192, 193. If you look through here, you'll see where she actually separated those positions, even on the actual schedule where she actually separated them, as well as in the book. So she said that, you know, as the administrative service director, it was the position as a actual assistant town manager who would be responsible for overseeing those divisions of clerk, finance, IT, and there was one other division. I think it was code enforcement or something. I'm trying to find the little thing. Clerk, HR, finance, and IT is what she said, and they would also oversee the contract administrator position.
And slash deputy town clerk, Mayor.
No, if you look
Yes.
right, if you look,
It was always, it was administration and slash deputy town clerk.
Mayor, if I may jump in real quick, it should be noted that finance reports directly to me now, and so does IT after the change that we did last month. Thank Commissioner DeVille mentioned to change it, so they're reporting directly to the town manager now, and I think that should have been noted. And code compliance is now reporting to the building department.
Yes. So there was this separation understanding that there was this separation of when we did this, of what was supposed to happen. Susie was brought on to take over the position of town clerk. And so it's kind of unfair to her when she was brought on to actually be the town clerk, that's not happening. In addition to that, if you're supposed to be, I'm still talking, I see your hand. So as you're supposed to be having a administrative service director who is responsible for HR services, then why are we also paying for HR services through a contractor? We said that would be a temporary thing that would be turned back over to the town after the 18 months when we got everything situated and done, which were the manuals, getting those things adopted and in place. So with that being said, I mean, it's up to you. I won't be here November, whatever, to vote, but I just want to set the record straight that the administrative service director was not supposed to be a clerk as per OL Wingo when she made the suggestions on how to restructure the town. So it does need to be cleaned up, which is what I have stated repeatedly, because when we passed the March 27th resolution, that position was that she was, when she came, originally when Marlon came in, she came in as the acting deputy town clerk, and then she was promoted to the position of administrative service director. And so that opened back up the position of town clerk, which again was what Susie was hired for originally. So I just want to put that on the record that those were the intentions when OL passed this. So
If I could have a moment, Mayor?
Go right ahead.
That wasn't the way that I was explained when I was hired, to be honest. I was the position of town clerk or deputy town clerk is nowhere in the ordinance, is nowhere in anything. Therefore, I was told that the administrative services director position was administrative services position / town clerk or deputy town clerk, because there wasn't that position in our charter, in our code of ordinance, anywhere. The only one that there is the administrative services director position. And therefore, when I was hired, I didn't see that at all as a promotion. I saw it as I was getting hired, because I wasn't a hired employee. I was a contracted employee. And I came in to specifically work on the clerk's office, and that's what I've been doing from day one. When the position came about, I did go ahead and make a comment, and even Chris Ryan brought it up at that meeting that title needed to have been changed, because right now the position also, and you're completely correct, the position does not have all the departments under it the way it originally did. Neither does the public services director either. So there are a number of ordinances in our code of ordinance that truly do need to be changed to make those corrections and have it done properly. So I am in complete agreement with what you're stating, but at the present time, going ahead and separating those two positions, it's really not, it really doesn't make sense. At the time that administrative services director position was created, there was no town manager. Same thing with the public services director position, which means that both of them hold inconsistencies that really need to be changed in the ordinance aspect of it. And to add to that, the position of town clerk needs to be completely identified, because the one thing that by Florida statute that you must have is a town clerk. And in your town, you have a clerk commissioner, but that clerk commissioner cannot hold the position of a town clerk and an elected official, because that violates Florida statute as well. You cannot hold dual positions. Therefore, that's why the clerk commissioner is a symbolic title, not really an active title in the town. And all of these things being said, at the end of the day, you need a clerk that does address all of the needs of the town, including being the records custodian, records manager, and all of that, which is what I have been doing. I work at the will of the commission. I work at the will of the town, and I'm here to represent the town and to properly go ahead and bring forth what OL Wingo has made recommendations, because prior to even reading this report, I made those changes at the commission meeting, first day that I was on the job as a contract employee, when we made the changes to the workshops, where we made the changes to submitting agendas, when we made the structural changes to the agenda. All of that was done prior to me being aware of this report. And this report actually solidifies everything I've done thus far by going ahead and bringing structure to the town and making sure that we have, the most important thing is the transparency, accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness that this town has lacked in the past. And I think I brought that to every single one of our meetings, and I've been very consistent with it because of the importance that I'm aware of that these meetings need to have. If we want our residents to be engaged, if we want our residents to be, involved in our town, if we want to have a proper system, more than anything, we need to have this type of structure that we haven't had in the past. And I bring that to the town. Therefore, I am at your will, at what you all as a whole feel needs to be changed. But I can guarantee you that the only thing that I'm going to continue doing is doing, as the vice mayor always says, Marlon, are we doing the right thing? Yes, sir, we are. We are doing everything possible to make sure that we are continuing to do the right thing by our residents, which is the number one priority. Thank you very much.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner Jacobs, and then if there's nothing else, we're going to move on.
A couple things. One, it was not a promotion. She was a contractor that we hired. That was not a promotion. That was taking a contractor and employing him, like we've done in the past with Harry and others around this town. Second of all, if Natasha wasn't the clerk and just had that title, all of us, when we ran for office, we shouldn't be here. That election didn't take place. That whole thing should be void, because Natasha was the town clerk. We had to go through the whole process with her, and it says that we have to do that. If she's not the town clerk, that didn't exist. So Natasha's title is the same title that Marlon has taken over, and the same role. But some of those positions have been taken away. Like now we have the IT director, we have finances, on its own. Everything's changed over the last year. But her being the town clerk is still the town clerk. And I don't recall Susie being brought on to be the town clerk. I remember her being brought on to do transcription of the meetings so we could get caught up on the disaster we had of 2 years of minutes that weren't caught up. That was her position, was to catch up those minutes. And Agatha was on her all the time about getting the minutes done. Wasn't brought on to be the clerk. It was brought on to do the minutes. So that's what I recall.
And may I, Mayor?
Go ahead.
And I agree with Jacobs because I do remember, and Susie was brought in to be, to get the minutes caught up. And if you look at, I think it was the OIG report that was stated in there too about Natasha did take on that she was our town clerk, okay, our deputy town clerk. And when we brought in Marlon, she was the deputy town clerk.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna say a couple things because I wasn't really trying to stay on this for too long. So number one, when Natasha came on, Natasha's been here forever. You know, Natasha's been here since she was 16 years old. That's like 28 years or whatever. Natasha was the town clerk. Natasha came on actually in finance. She worked her way through the different divisions. She was the town clerk. She was the certified town clerk. Dr. Levy was also the certified town clerk. So you had two people who were certified town clerks that used to deal with a lot of this stuff. That's number one. We transitioned over to the administrative service director after we brought in O.L. Wingo, which was after Bob had left. Okay, and O.L. has stated repeatedly, even during her conversations, that Natasha needed to be promoted. She was doing 3 different jobs, which is why she was paid $161,000 a year. She was doing 3 different jobs. Okay, so she was the town clerk. She was the administrative service director when we did promote her. I stated before when we passed the resolution that the resolution was incorrect because there was discrepancies in what was being stated and said. When Susie was brought on to be the clerk. Even if you look at OL's thing, if you actually look in your book on page 218 of OL's thing, if you can see that, there is a deputy town clerk on OL's thing underneath administrative service director.
that was Natasha.
That was when we were transitioning over.
Susie
Remember,
was brought in to get the minutes caught up, Mayor.
Gina, we'll agree to disagree. Susie was supposed to be brought in Natasha was training Susie to take over the position of town clerk.
All right, I'm not going to argue, but that's what I remember.
There's no reason to argue, and I'm not voting. I won't be here to vote, so this is all on you guys. But I do want the record to reflect that, number one, Natasha brought Susie in to train Susie to take over the town clerk's position. It was also to catch up on the minutes, even though we paid a company $80,000. We paid Prototype to do that. When Marlon was promoted, it was a promotion from clerk. As you can see from the chart, it's a promotion going from clerk to administrative service director. There was a $30,000 pay increase. That is a promotion. That is not called a lateral move. That is called a promotion.
It would only be a promotion if she was an employee to begin with. She wasn't. She was a contractor.
Well, then would you prefer her to be the deputy town clerk at $60,000 because that's what she was brought in as, versus the administrative service director? And if she's the deputy town clerk, she wouldn't have any of the responsibilities
As a
of
contractor, she was making 60 something. As an employee, made 80 something.
She could have been brought in as a contractor, as an administrative service director. She could have been brought in as a contractor.
Sure, I understand this benefits you legally by this being this way, but it's not the way it is.
It's not that it benefits me legally. Legally, your paperwork is messed up because of the fact that it states that she is no longer, based on the actual resolution that the commission voted on, everyone voted on. The resolution actually states that the administrative service director oversees the clerk's department, the IT department, the finance department. Is the administrative service director Harry? No, it's not. Is the administrative service director Mark? No, she's not. She's not Mark. So you cannot theoretically oversee yourself. So it's not a legal issue. It's an issue of we need to straighten up our paperwork. And Marlon just stated that our paperwork needs to be straightened up. I've said it repeatedly, but no one wants to listen. The resolutions and ordinances that we have on the book, as well as the job descriptions, need to be corrected, and they also need to be voted on by the commission. We haven't seen the job descriptions. We have not voted on the job descriptions. So there are job descriptions floating around that have not been voted on unless we're still utilizing the 1997 ones.
Mayor, with all due respect, we did have job descriptions that I signed, but if we could please.
Haven't voted on it as a commission. They need to be voted on as a commission. They have not been brought before the commission to be voted on.
I understand what you're saying. I am not aware of what the process was when it comes to all the job descriptions, but every employee met with HR and met with their director and signed off on the job descriptions. This was part of what was done at the very beginning. But in all due respect, let's just fix the situation, move forward, okay? And at the end of the day, I would like to clarify something. I came in as the interim clerk. I came in as the interim deputy town clerk as a contract employee at $65,000. I was later on hired as an actual employee with whatever title there was, because that's the title that I was told that went with my job. Okay. And then I was brought in at 80. So I just want the record straight of all the numbers and everything, because I do not want any misunderstanding of any numbers or any situation. So therefore, if we could please move on, and possibly HR can work with the attorney and with the and with our town manager to just fix this situation. And I think that will solve the issue. Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is Melissa, the town attorney. I think it's very easily solvable.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Vice Mayor.
yeah, I would like for the town manager, this falls right into his purview. We have a problem. And now I would like to see him go over there, get with the attorney, whoever he needs to help, and get this all resolved. If we have not voted on something, then you already know we need to. So JC, would you take care of that one and put this down on the agenda, not to argue, but to correct it? Okay.
Oh, I absolutely intend on correcting this.
Well, I'm asking you, wait a minute. I'm a commissioner. I'm just asking you.
Oh, no, I didn't take any offense. I'm absolutely gonna take care of this.
And I'm asking you as a commissioner to do that, and we'll watch this. You report to us every month so we can clean this up. Marlon, I see two opposing views, and I think different people promise different things from what I'm hearing. So if you want to, do we have to vote on this, or can I just request the manager to do this, Madam Mayor?
You have to vote on it.
So then put it down that we're going to vote and direct him to go in there and clean this up once and for all, with the assistance of the town attorney.
Well, let me ask you this. I can work on it and then get it ready for the voting meeting.
Okay, I always and I'm going to ask for it to be voted on. Please put it down on the agenda, because it's necessary. That's the best practice. We've learned that. You vote on it, then they're given a directive, and then that's settled, and they come back with good work and finish everything up. So
What is the vote, sir?
To direct the town manager, staff, to look into this administrative service division, and whatever is necessary to correct it, then, and get it right, let's move it forward and let's do that. And then he can report back to us each month until he gets it right. It could be 1 month, half a month, I don't know yet. The town attorney will have to assist him. So would you please?
I'm sure that we can resolve this.
Could you, I am pleased, Madam Mayor, I have requested to have an item on the agenda for next month. What's the big deal? We do that all the time. And
Oh, no,
then
there's no, I'm not saying it's a big deal.
There's no
big deal.
No, I'm saying that to the mayor, not you. There's no big deal. Then we settle it. We get everybody happy here and we move forward. No negativity. We're going to move it forward. But your job, JC, is to do just this. When we have a problem area, your job is you do the day-to-day and then oversee generally. But when we have a problem, you focus when we give you a directive. So this is an official commission direction, no negativity. We just want to get this job done. So Marlon and everybody over there knows where they're headed and what we're doing. So would you put that on the agenda for the voting or consent? Can we put it on consent? Does it have to be voted on? We don't need to keep hashing it over. just looking for the manager to do a job. So we all agree, one way or the other needs to be done
Okay, sir, I'll put it down.
as a consent, huh? Okay?
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Settled, and then we have a record that we directed the manager to do this, which is not uncommon what we do. We vote, go do this for us, go do that for us, and then report back to us. And we know it'll be professionally done. All the commissioners will get their chance, and it will come back the right way with the attorney's legal help. So put that on the consent with no objections. Thank you, Marlon.
Thank you. 9.4, authorization to receive documents on behalf of the town.
All right, the way we have things set up in this town right now, the only ones that can receive documentations of service is the commissioners. And seeing how this is a part-time commission for us, or part-time position for us all, we're not always here in town. We do have full-time people here in the town as the town clerk and the town manager. And I believe we should have a resolution together to say that the town clerk and the town attorney can receive process service on behalf of the town, that it shouldn't have to be one of our commissioners called in to receive documentation.
Okay, I have Vice Mayor.
Okay, Jeffrey, Commissioner Jacobs, I would really like to see the manager accept the notice. I agree with what you're saying. Let's have the manager do it, who's responsible. Okay.
Under the opinion of Melissa, and she can come forward and tell you, she suggested that it only be the town clerk and the town attorney. That was her suggestion.
I didn't know that, so.
The reason that I say that is I think that the town attorney's office and the town clerk's office are more hyper aware of receiving documents and making sure they're checked in and paid attention to, whereas it can get hectic in the town manager's office and it may get lost in the shuffle.
That makes sense to me. That's fine. I didn't know that you had said that. Thank you.
Melissa, while you're here, you have a resolution that you made for this?
We will have it for the next meeting, yes.
Okay. Anyone else have anything? And we'll move this for the next meeting.
Yeah. And Melissa, in the case that either the clerk is not there or I forgot who else, but can the manager be a backup in case both of those people are out on the same day?
We can do that. We can write that into the ordinance/resolution. Yeah.
Okay.
And then another comment, I have a comment since you raised that one, Ray.
Go ahead, Vice.
Okay, and then upon receipt, whoever receives it, then all the commissioners can be notified.
All right, I will add that.
Can I just say one more comment real quick? Melissa and Commissioner Jacobs, I think, you're right. I think you're right. The clerk is close to the attorney, and that's what she's right there. So that makes good sense.
One thing, I don't think all the commissioners need notified when something comes in. Some stuff is confidential that doesn't come to us. You know what I mean? Some stuff could be. I think it's applicable to what should come to us and what shouldn't. I think there's things that come from the outside, like the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, that says confidential. It shouldn't be spread out in emails to all of us.
Well, if it's a lawsuit, the commission would be the ones doing the final vote anyway on it. So therefore, all the commissioners should be aware.
Applicable items could come forward, but non-applicable items do not. So not every item needs to come to the commissioners.
Well, wait, are you asking that all service of process or any lawsuits filed be directed to the?
I'm not talking just lawsuits, any process of service for documentation, not there's other services you can get other than lawsuits.
Usually subpoenas are served on the person who's being subpoenaed. So the things that would be served to the town attorney and the town clerk would be an initial complaint. That's what you would normally see, and that would be appropriate to forward to all the commissioners. Now, if it were a subpoena or something like that, then no, it would not be appropriate, and we could make that determination.
Yeah, let's get that in there so it's proper.
Okay. Okay. 9.4 wait, no, sorry. 9.5 public comments, decorum, civility.
Mayor, if I may, this comes as a result, I guess, last meeting, there's some public comments, and then it ended up becoming like a debate back and forth. I think we need to establish a policy or an item on the agenda in which public comments are accepted. Public comments should be uninterrupted, either 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever the commission decides. Should be uninterrupted time for the speaker to speak and express their opinions, their public comments, whether it's on an agenda item or if you guys want to have a good and welfare section, they can address any item that may not even be on the agenda. But I don't think it's healthy to be a debate or personal attacks or anything that has occurred. And that's what the whole point of this. And if the town attorney would like to add something, or the Marlon would like to add something, the town clerk, by all means, if they need to add anything to this.
I do not have anything to add. This is Melissa.
I would just like to state that thank you very much, JC. I really do appreciate you having that conversation with the commission. I think that one of the things that we've been struggling here prior to you getting here was actually establishing some guidelines and procedures that we so desperately need. So I think that this, again, is another one of those situations where we need to put forth some kind of process. And I think that the reason why I read out that civility or the decorum clause is only to, maybe it needs to be read out every single time during public comment so that we don't forget how these meetings are supposed to be run. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
So if the commission is okay with that, we can add that to the agenda. I don't know if it needs to be done by resolution. We can add the section to the next agenda, and you'll see their public comments, 3 minutes, and it'll be timed and allow the speakers to speak.
Okay. Yeah, the commission needs to make a decision if that's how they want to run the meeting. So, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's why I'm asking if the commission's desire.
It needs to be voted on because the commission, we voted on
sure,
it.
Sure. Okay, so at the next meeting, I apologize. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Ray, you had something you wanted to add? You had your hand up. Okay, never mind. All right.
Now stretching.
Saw your hand. 9.6 special commission meetings.
I have this item on here in kind of to follow up on the previous item as far as public comments. I think the commission, and I haven't seen a resolution or an ordinance establishing the guidelines or the policy for calling a special commission meeting. I think in reading the Oil Wingo report, she expressed some issues, some concerns about the commission meetings and the agendas. And I think by adding non-agenda, I'm saying special commission meetings kind of dilutes some of the transparency. Don't get me wrong. I believe that that special commission meetings are necessary when there's an emergency or urgent matters, pressing matters that cannot wait till the next month or to the following meeting. And there will be times where meetings like that will be required. But I think special commission meetings, because what happens is that you'll have a an item, and then all of a sudden a lot of items get tagged onto it that are not emergencies, that are not urgent. And it kind of dilutes some of that transparency that we're trying to achieve. I would respectfully request the commission consider if one hasn't been adopted. I haven't been able to find one.
It's in the charter.
It's in the charter as far as special meetings.
Yeah, it's in the charter. What
But
it
I
is.
believe it does it not say for special, like emergency meetings or
It
for
says for
urgent
special,
matters?
no, it says for special commission meetings, the mayor, whoever the mayor is can call for a special meeting. If not, the commissioners can call, but they have to have at least 2 commissioners consent to having a special.
Okay. I kind of, my whole point is to limit the amount of special meetings and reserve those really for true emergencies. Those are my comments.
Okay. Go ahead, Jacobs.
And just like as a reminder, last year we had 56 meetings in total. We're supposed to have 24 meetings a year. 56 is a lot. And those meetings kept going and going and going. And I understand we have a lot we had to do, but we even had a special on Halloween to discuss overtime, which the 3 of us commissioners that had children were there at town hall with our kids trying to go out. It gets ridiculous with all these specials when we can deal with them on regular commission meetings. Unless they're emergency, I get that, That's all I have.
I'd like to add something, Mayor. I know the OIG also had a problem with that, with these special meetings. That was a big problem. So I agree it should only be for emergencies only.
And they cost money.
They do. I know most of the time they were usually because we were under time constraints or trying to get things done. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you.
We're on a budget.
Yes, I know, but there are certain items that come with time constraints that we're trying to get done under the time constraints. They have some type of time limitation. A lot of those meetings.
Mayor, Mayor, and I agree with you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I agree with you. There are situations where there are urgent matters, and there are pressing issues that there's time constraints and you can't, and those are okay. But there are other, I've seen in reading past minutes, and it's just not necessary all the time. But there are situations where it will be required.
Yeah.
Mayor, we're not hearing you.
I said, oh, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, that's why the charter has it the way it does, where it's the mayor can call a special for the or the consent of 2 commissioners, or if someone's paying for it, if a business owner, developer is paying for it, then they can call a special as long as they're willing to pay. I think it's like $285 or something like that, $200. There is a cost associated if there's a special call by a developer or business. It's in the charter. So that's why it is the way it is.
I think the consensus just needs to be that all the commissioners understand that if an item is not considered relevant to all the commissioners, then there won't be a meeting because we can't get a quorum. And the quorum is going to be based on making sure that one item that is submitted is an item of true emergency. Otherwise, they can all wait until the regularly scheduled meeting so that then we don't throw off our residents. And our residents are also not felt like there's been things put on the special meetings conducted that are really not being transparent because they're not aware of it. Because you could have a meeting every 48 hours. You can call a special meeting every 48 hours. And that is what the true discussion is to make sure that all the commissioners, one of them agree to have a meeting. And my understanding from other commissioners, from the consensus of this commissions, is that they will not entertain special meetings unless they are of dire need. And that's what I wanted to go ahead and make sure that everybody understood. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Number 10.1, redistribution of all commissioners' duties.
Okay, this is my item again. As we know, the mayor's leaving next meeting, so we have to redistribute our positions again and come up with the way they work. When Ray and I got elected, we're democracy here, and it's all 5 commissioners with equal power. This is a commission form of government. We've heard this over and over again. This is what our charter is. But when we came on, we were all told, this is your position. Ray, you were told you're going to be the fire commissioner. I was told I was going to be the police commissioner. I was told I was going to be the clerk commissioner. I think when we go forward with this next one, everyone should come forward on what positions they want, why they want those positions, why they think they're a good fit for those positions. And we have a vote from the commission on who should be in which position. When we're talking police commissioner, I am the one with all the law enforcement experience. I have all the background on it. I've been knee deep in this. And just so you know, for the town, just on a quick recap on the police department, you know, BSO came in 1980. In 1990, the town was discussing going with another agent, you know, having another agency or doing their own. That decision came up in 95. It came up in 97. It came up in 2003, 2006, and I believe in 2007. Every time I find documents where it's come up over and over again. But this town has a lot of great ideas and no follow through on a lot of stuff. Here we are, we're ready, you know, to start hiring and get our police department going. We're going to have a presentation here next month on everything that's been put together for it. I made this happen. I brought the people together, you know, with everyone here in town and lots of resources. So for that position, you know, I want to keep myself in that position because I don't believe anyone else here in the town has the experience for that, you know, and we're talking every position. We're talking the fire commissioner. We're talking the different things that we do around town, the public works, you know, where your expertise is, pitch your expertise to all of us. Let us know why you are the best fit for that position and why it could go forward. I have my opinions on what I think we should do after the mayor's gone for who should be in what when it comes to the mayor seat, vice mayor seat, clerk seat, and commissioner. But I want to nominate myself as the mayor going forward. I have the leadership experience. I have the background for this. In the last year, I came in and assessed the town to see what the town needed. And I put a plan together on what we kept bringing forward. We got in HR department. We got job descriptions in here. We have the third independent pay study to get the pay back on track for the town, for its employees. Brought forward the healthcare. So now every employee has affordable healthcare for themselves and their families. You know, there's a lot that we brought forward and there's a lot that I'm bringing forward. So I'm working on an amnesty plan that I've been working on with Miguel for a while now. We're ready, you know, to have it. Actually, we have a meeting scheduled, I believe, on the 6th next month. So there's a lot going, and I think for the mayor position, I think I'd be a good fit. Now, I would like everyone to be open in what they want to do and what position they want to go into and why, you know, and I, you know, see where I would like people to go, you know, and I could, you know, we could do it that way. We can have everyone come up to each position and discuss it and why we're there and do a vote. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys on how we want to go because we're a democracy. At the last meeting, the vice mayor brought forward, we're just going to do this. This is going to be the positions. We're going to do a resolution. No, that's not a democracy. That's a dictatorship. And this is not the way this works here. You know, everyone has their expertise in every area. We're elected by our residents and our communities to lead and be here for our communities. So anyone has anything else to say on positions they would be interested in?
Yeah, well, I got a comment.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
As far as the mayor, I have a different opinion. After thinking about it, I've always said I do not want to be the mayor. However, if you look at some of the history, Commissioner Cohen, in my opinion, has the seniority and she should be the mayor because everybody has served as a mayor. And you know, that's just the way, that's just a tradition. I'm not saying we have to do it as a tradition. I'm just saying that that's what I recall. And I would like to see that so that she in her career served as the mayor, the vice mayor, the clerk, and she got a full experience of the town. And so that's who I would like to see as the mayor when we, and I think that what's at issue here is the mayor is leaving, and what is open is the mayor's slot. Okay, she is stepping down. So what we really need to do is make sure we appoint a mayor, a new mayor. And I gave my feelings on that. I think that's all that's at stake right now. I think that we should go forward. I'm not saying that we don't say what we want to do. Okay, that's constructive. But right now, I think we need to fill, as soon as the mayor steps down, fill that slot. And then I reserve to make more comments. That's just my opening comments to get it started.
I don't think it's just the mayor's position. I think this is the chance to redistribute all the positions to the way we feel fit based on our expertise and what we want to do as commissioners.
Yes. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, Madam Mayor, I don't necessarily agree with that. I know that's going to be a debate, but I don't think it's a time. I think it's every 4 years. That's just my opinion. From when we last had our regular meeting and we elected officers, and I think that's what was that, 19? So that the attorneys or somebody's going to have to figure out, exactly how that language affects what we're doing. I'm open to anything, but I want to do it right. And so I feel like that we're not doing it right to start off with. Okay, I want to hear from the legal beagles, what is the position. So I would like to just say that I don't agree with that. And I would like to be able to have more conversations with Melissa down the road before the next meeting.
All right, go ahead, Jacob.
Okay, it's more right to do it this way, as this is democracy, where we all get to discuss and decide where we're going to be. Unlike when we first came in here, we were just told, hey, you're going to be the clerk commissioner. I will tell you, I didn't know anything about the clerk's office. I had to learn. I had to learn really fast. And then I came neck deep in piles of whatever you want to call it, in a mess that I had to clean up. And that all stemmed from the clerk's office. So luckily, I think I was the right person for that position. I got handed the police commissioner position due to my background. Howard, you're the ones who appointed us all these positions. You appointed me to these positions. But this gives us the opportunity now as a democracy to all go forward and step forward to the positions that fit us best. And we can all vote on who gets in every position. That way, no one's just appointed to it. I mean, there's been people in this town who have ran for the very first time and ended up as the vice mayor, stepping right in. People run for Congress who have no political experience whatsoever and become a congressman. We're all commissioners. We're all of equal power, and this is a commission form of government. So us working together as a democracy to put ourselves in the position that fits us best in leadership roles, liaison roles with different departments, is way I believe we should go forward. So,
yeah. And if I may, Madam Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, I agree with that. My whole opposition or questioning is the when. Is it now or is it after the next election, which has traditionally been what the town has done? That's my only distinction I need to hear. And so I'm saying that I have a problem with that. Not that we're going to do the way you want to do it. I have no problems with that, but I have a problem of timing. Are we supposed to do it now? Or are we supposed to do it in what is it, 2020, after the next election? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going against that. I agree.
Well, this is a good time for it, seeing how the mayor's leaving on November 3rd, and it leaves the town in a spot where we can do this. So I'm looking at this being the perfect time for us to actually have this open discussion for the first time and discuss our expertise and put ourselves forward at the next meeting.
And then, well, then I'm gonna ask two questions. Are you guys gonna do this again in March once the election happens and you have a new commissioner for District 5? Or will District 5's commissioner now no longer have the ability to take part in this discussion or activity or anything else? Is this just gonna be for November 10th through March 9th? Or is this going to be for the entire term until 2023?
By that, you're also assuming that we're not going to appoint someone into a position and we're going to have a special election. So,
well, either or. That's not the question. Is District 5's commissioner going to have the opportunity to? Because right now you're wanting to have this discussion for the next meeting, which is only in 2 weeks, versus you might decide to appoint November. You might decide to.
We can do it again. We can do it again after the next election. Okay. We can do it again after the next election. It's not a big deal. Again, we're all 5 commissioners with equal power. This is a commission form of government. It's been pounded into our head multiple times. That's what it is. We all have equal power. So it's a symbolic title for that position. So next election, we can do it all over again. It's no big deal. You know, maybe we get someone in who has, say, public works experience that has that expertise. What a better spot for them to be in that position. Or we bring in someone who's a retired police chief, you know, as a commissioner. What a better spot for them to be in as the police commissioner. You know, they'll have more experience than I do. You know, a retired fire chief, right? We could bring in a retired fire chief as the next commissioner. Again, more experience than you. So yeah, it's fluid. We can do whatever we need to make it work.
But I think Commissioner Jacobs, what the mayor is saying, and now I sort of see what she's saying. Why don't you wait until this person is on board from District 5 before you start doing all this? Because this person might be able to do some of the things that we're talking about. I think the mayor is right on that point.
So what happens, Howard, if nobody runs and we don't have a special election, that seat's vacant? This town's gone with vacancies in the past. So then we're still going to have people in our position. So it's very simple for us to adjust our positions. It's not like, oh my God, this is the way it's got to be. This is cut and dry. We got to do it this way. No, it's not. It's very fluid. All we got to do is sit up here, have a talk again, see who wants to sit in what positions based on their experience, and we redistribute the positions again. It's not a big deal. We change things around here a lot. I mean, ask yourself, how many times have you changed the plan and layout for, you know, staff in this town? We're going over this structure so many times over and over again with simple little changes. It's no different than this. It's absolutely no different than this. Changes happen all the time. And I think this is the best way to do it.
But one thing I do have to say, Commissioner and Mayor, is we do need to appoint a mayor. That's necessary. And when you leave, we need to start thinking about that.
And I agree. And you know what? I agree that we should do this at the next meeting.
Okay, and then I just want to put the second thing out there is that you know, what the League of Cities normally does is that they take applications for the various positions, but even though they take applications, you can't nominate yourself. It has to be somebody nominating you. So that's one of the things that the League of Cities has always done for any of their committees, and that's how most organizations do. Is that even though, you know, you apply for the position, somebody has to nominate you. You can't nominate yourself. And the city has
not in the charter, and that's not the way this town has been doing things since 1957.
The positions have, yes, the positions have always been nominated by someone other than the person asking to be in that position. I've never nominated myself for a position. No one else has as long as I've been here. But even with all the other organizations,
That's fine, then we'll have someone else nominate.
I'm just putting it out there. I was just putting it out there for the record.
You know what I mean? Okay, fine. We can nominate. That's no big deal. It's an open discussion. So we can nominate each other for different positions, you know? Sit there and then everyone's got to read their resume and background and experience, and then we got to dictate what we think they're going to be good at, and then we'll move forward. No big deal. But we have to do it at the next meeting, so we have the positions filled.
Okay, perfect. 10.2 background checks.
Okay, as you heard, there's an interest in having background checks. And so I have talked with the town attorney. She said we can work on it, and then we can bring that forward back to the commission.
Okay.
So this, I would say this would be at the next workshop.
Okay, so you'll have that on the agenda for the next workshop.
Is that okay? Wait, hold on. Is that okay, Melissa?
That's fine, Vice Mayor. The Vice Mayor and I had discussed, we looked at the North Miami Beach ordinance, which requires commissioners to get fingerprinted, and we talked about some other things. So, but we agreed that whatever needs to be done, we need to be very careful and make sure that, we're not violating anybody's rights. So we're going to talk about it some more.
Okay. 10.3 property standards.
Okay, that I already discussed briefly. JC and I are going to go out there and locate some of these properties that need help. We'll contact D and we'll get the process going and find help. If we need to beef up some of our property standards, we can do that with Miller. So this will be coming back in front of the commission for the next workshop.
Okay, perfect. 10.4 lawsuit Jacques versus Town of Pembroke Park and Mayor Muhammad.
Okay, so I would like to know if the town attorney can give us an update where everything is here, what she knows about it, what she can share with us, what she can't share with us, so that we're all on the same page regarding this issue.
I believe I sent the mayor, the vice mayor, and the commissioners the final order from the hearing. I sent it to you last week. The judge ruled in favor of the mayor and denied the motion for emergency relief. And so the case is now finished.
Okay, so then I guess it's my turn next. Madam Mayor, may I ask a question?
Go ahead.
So how does all this evolve around attorney fees? I would go to Melissa, of course.
Well, there is no issue of attorney's fees as of yet. There's been nothing submitted to the town for reimbursement, so.
Okay. So, you answer my question. If any other commissioners have a question, this is a good time to ask it.
Well, I guess I will be submitting my attorney's fees then, since I was the subject of litigation, despite the fact that the commission had taken a position not to file suit. But since I was sued in my official capacity as the mayor, I will be submitting my attorney's fees for the next meeting.
For clarification, it was a split vote. That's why it was shot down.
Well, even still, a split vote is still a no. If you can't convince the commission to be on a majority, then it's a dead issue. So therefore, If it doesn't pass, it's a fail.
Wait a
Back to the issue of attorney's fees, I also believe I sent to each commissioner, the mayor and the vice mayor, a provision from the code, from the town code, and also from the state statute, which does provide for the payment of attorney's fees when an official is sued in their official capacity. And so the town will expect to receive that from the mayor, and then we will evaluate the reasonableness, and it will go to the commission for approval. Most likely, we will ask an outside counsel to give us an opinion as to the reasonableness of the attorney's fees. So that's the course that the town attorney's office is going to take when I receive that bill.
Okay.
And it might be, I don't know if it may come with an opinion of an attorney as to the reasonableness of the fees to be submitted. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Number 10.5 amnesty program. I had a conversation with JC regarding this a couple months ago, and I submitted to the I'm not sure who all I emailed to. I emailed several different amnesty programs because of the fact that we've been giving so many people code enforcement violations lately, and a lot of people are unable to pay for these code enforcement violations and trying to come up with some type of program. So I sent samples of Okeechobee's program, Broward County's program, Seminole County, Pompano Beaches amnesty. I'll get to you when I finish. So there were things that I saw in the various programs that I wanted to bring forward so that we could have a program so that we can kind of help alleviate some of the issues. So I did send an email which basically says that, I'd like, to have a discussion to see what we can do as far as helping the residents. Different cities have different plans. Some actually allow for a payment plan. The county actually allows for 100% reduction in the violation. Some cities require that you fix the violation first. Some cities require that during the application process you just have to have an open violation in order to apply. Some require that the violations be closed. And so there were different programs that I saw. What I would like to do with that and also with the housing program is to have people also have the ability to have a code enforcement officer come out, inspect their properties to make sure there are no violations. If there are, they could actually also take part in the amnesty program. So that way it's not something that comes up after the amnesty program is closed. And then they would be precluded from having it should someone see a violation after the fact. So I submitted this email to JC and to Marlon, as well as the town attorney. And these are some of the things that I would like to see in the amnesty program. And I would like to see that, and we also need to decide how much we're willing to waive in the amnesty, because some cities do 50%, the county does 100%. So if you have a code enforcement violation with Broward County, they actually will do a reduction of up to 100%. And also I'd like to see what we can do as far as, I know that, there are times where people have to have blueprints drawn up, and engineering services are kind of expensive. And a lot of people cannot afford engineering services to draw up a blueprint, say like, the fence violation that just occurred in Glenwood Court. The fence, she got some panels from Home Depot for like $12 a panel and had the panels changed. And then she ended up having to spend $500 for an architect just to draw up a blueprint. And the panels didn't even cost her but like $200, but she paid $500 for the architectural drawing. So these are some of the things that I would like to see, and I'd like to, see this program come through sooner rather than later. So if there are any comments, go ahead, Commissioner Jacobs, and then JC, was your hand up or?
Yeah, it was, but I'll let the commission speak.
Okay.
Amnesty has been something I've been working on for many months now. Since JC got here, I've been meeting with residents and JC to bring this to them. We've also met with Miguel many times. We have a plan that we've been putting together, and we have a meeting scheduled on November 6th that we're going to be covering all of this. We have an idea. We're meeting with the attorney. This has already been in the works for a while, and many of these ideas have been brought forward already.
Okay, I won't be here at the next meeting, number one. Number two, I did not know that you were working on something for amnesty. And so we have been having this conversation in the past. We usually do a semi-amnesty program, usually during hurricane season with waiving fees and things like that for things that happen during the hurricanes. Vice Mayor can attest to that. But I just wanted to move this forward because I did not know you guys were working on it, but I do want to bring it forward as something that can occur. Light of the residents calling and constantly complaining about these violations. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, and I did not know Jeffrey was working on it either, Commissioner Jacobs. However, I can say that 1, 2, 3, and now that you say so 4 of us have been working on it, and it's been going on a long time, and we'll all eventually get together and we're gonna, make this happen. That's most important. And so we'll bring it forward. I know Gina's always talking about it, me, I hear now Jacobs, the mayor. So as long as we all get together and we bring it forward, I think that's what our objective is. And do what's right, and do what's right for the residents here without them having a huge bill and inconvenience. So work with the residents. That's what we've always done, right, Gina? When we had the hurricane, we would direct the building official not to break any laws, but use his or her discretion to work with the people. And the one that we had here at the time did. So that's all I have to say, because
Go ahead, JC.
Mayor, yeah, thank you. Yes, actually, shortly after I started here, I was kind of slammed with this. I initially started the conversation with Chris Ryan, Town Attorney Ryan, and then waited until Melissa came on board to continue the discussion. I did get your email, and we will be incorporating, we'll look into those items there and incorporate as many as possible into our amnesty program. Our intention is to bring this, obviously, this program to the commission for approval. But yeah, it's something that as soon as she started, I said, hey, by the way, we have an amnesty program. And it's something that I've been, we've been communicating with Miguel in the building department about for some time now. So yes, that, it will come forward to the commission for approval when it's ready soon.
Okay, thank you.
So in other words, I think we're saying, Madam Mayor, from all of us, we'll keep it going for you and we'll get the job done right. Well, since we're all working together.
Thank you. Okay, annexation 11.1.
Okay, I hope David Segerson, is he still on the line?
I don't see him.
I don't see him either. Connie's still on the line, but I don't see Dave.
Okay, two things. He touched on it lightly. Number one, and you heard it from Dee, that there is an annexation committee at the Florida League of Cities under the Economic Development and Land Use. I chair that committee, and we with a lot of people's help, got our item annexation to be a priority item where the full league is going to get behind us and help us with our bill. So that's one great thing for us. And it takes a lot of help from a lot of people, and it's there. And we got 49% of the vote of the members that were there. And I think they were voting on 6 or 7 issues. So it was a good feeling that all our labor in the past, like Dee said, has come to fruition. And then secondly, I know David Segerson received an email. I don't know where that came from. Madam Mayor, did you have anything to do with that, or are you familiar with it, Madam Mayor?
I'm not
With
sure
that?
which, okay, I'm
Okay,
not sure which.
there was an email.
But hold on one second. There's a lot of conversation and chatter going on with West Park regarding annexation. There's Facebook discussions with the senator, with the former commissioner, and with the actual candidates for office for West Park. And there's actually conversation that's going on with people from the town of Pembroke Park in those Facebook discussions pro annexation. So, you know, there's plenty of conversation and chatter going on for a merger between the two cities or for an annexation between the two cities, whereas West Park has been adamantly trying to annex the businesses out of Pembroke Park. There's been discussion on Pembroke Park supposedly taking over the Lake Forest side of West Park as well.
Well, I have to say,
from people in the town.
okay, so we have never talked about this. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to continue the work that the commission has authorized, the full commission, and that is to go around, and we're not agreeing to go with the annexation. And so we've had hundreds of meetings. I know Jeff has participated. He was there, the mayor. We'll start real soon. The only thing that's kind of thrown a monkey wrench into it is COVID. So now we can't go out and have these group meetings that we're used to, but we'll find a way. We'll find a way, and we'll do that, whether it's Zoom or, you know, whatever it is. We're going to get out there again as soon as everybody starts to come down, which is happening now. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Commissioner.
Hey, again, guys, the police department adds to us as an independent town. We're not and after we have our own department going, we're not contracted with West Park again for BSO. They're gonna have issues paying their own police bill. We're going to have our own department. That helps us maintain ourselves independently from being annexed by a community that doesn't even have its own police department. They raise their taxes over there, again, for their residents. Their residents are not happy with the way West Park is running their town. So yes, I hear what you're saying. I'm working hard to make us a very independent town. After we finish the police department, we can work on getting our own fire department here. You know, that establishes us completely different from West Park. We have our own services. We take care of our own town. They're contracting out, all right? These are things that help us continue to stay separate. That's all I gotta say.
Well, Mayor,
go ahead.
I agree 1,000%. That's exactly what we've got to do, Jeff. So that's perfect thinking. And the whole idea is being independent. You hit the nail on the head. If you look at the case law, or you look at annexation throughout the United States, Supreme Court, state Supreme Courts have ruled, well, what do they look for? Well, what I've read, and everybody can go out there and read themselves, but what I've read is the number one thing that they look at, are they independent? And that's what we have to stay. We have to keep our drainage program. We have to keep our sewer program. Do you know how you're talking about the police, Jeff? That's the same way that I'm talking about the sewer. It has to be independent. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're moving forward with it. So I like that. That's the right thinking for us. And we will be independent.
Anything else on that one?
No.
12, town manager comments?
Wait. Before you go there, you have items that you guys adopted at the beginning. Hold on.
Yeah, there's the first one is the credit card one.
Right. Right.
Harry, if you're there.
Yes, I'm here. So the reason why I'm bringing this item up with the mayor leaving next week, she is the primary card holder for the credit card. And in talking with the credit card company, by removing the mayor from the credit card, we are forced to open up a new credit card for the town. So I'm bringing forth that to the commission to make them aware of the situation, to see if they want to go ahead with a town credit card. If so, we would need a new primary card holder for the account. As well, the card has accrued, I guess, points for all the purchases. There's approximately 216,000 points, which can be converted, could be used in multiple ways. One of them being gift cards. Another option would be to cash it out. They would in turn issue us a check for $2,125. So there are options available, but again, I just want to bring that attention to the commission to see what direction they would like to go forward.
Okay. When I spoke to them, when I was adding everybody onto the cards, a couple, what was that, like 2 months ago, whatever it was, they told me I could just be removed from the card, but you'd have to appoint a new person to be the lead person on the card. That's what they told me, and they sent over the paperwork. I saw the paperwork originally in my inbox, but for some reason it's since disappeared. So I'm not sure if we can just call them and just have me, because they told me before that I could literally just be removed from the card.
Well, we did speak to them. We did speak to them today. I'm sorry to interrupt. We did speak to them today, and that was the information that was given to us today. What they did mention to us today, and maybe this is where might be confusion, is that if we decide to go ahead and open another account, you would have to sign a form which would leave the current card open while the town is in turn applying for a new credit card. So again, I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. I didn't see that document, but it could be that.
No, that's not what they told me. Because I told them I was leaving November. I told them I was leaving November 3rd. And they said, and I said, well, you know, how do you guys want to handle this? And they said, we'll just send you a form removing you, and you just have to appoint a new person to be the main person. And it happens all the time with business accounts. And he sent the form over. Like I said, there was a form that was sent over. I just don't see it in my inbox anymore, but there was a form they sent over the same day when I ordered the new cards.
So who did they send the form to? Who requested the form? I guess I'm trying to figure out who
I requested the form and he emailed it over.
I'm sorry, you interrupted. Can you say that again?
I said I requested the form and they emailed it over.
Who did they email the form to?
They emailed it to my email, to my city email.
Okay. So if you could, is there any way we can get that form sent to finance and go ahead so we can go ahead and.
That's like I went back in to go because I had to sign it. And so I was like, okay, well, I was on the phone with them, but I wasn't at home where I could print it. So when I went back to go try to print it, I couldn't find it.
Mayor, can we maybe call them tomorrow and have them resend this form?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Would you be able to call them tomorrow so they can resend that form?
Yeah.
That's different information.
I need the 800 number because you remember I don't have my card. My card is in City Hall. My credit card's right number. So somebody.
I will forward you the number tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so I guess your question is going to be next week is who do you want to appoint to be the lead person on the card?
Correct. Okay. And if in fact I will get clarification, but if in fact we do have to close out the account, I would need direction as to what the commission would like to do with the accrued points. If they want to convert that into something, they could issue us a check, which would roughly be $2,125. We can purchase gift cards if the commission chose to go that route. There's still other options available as well that we could discuss.
Okay, and then question for you. With the snafu last month, are we getting new bank account numbers or what?
No, bank accounts are fine.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because I don't know, we don't know who all downloaded the agenda packets.
I'm not familiar with agenda packets. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
When the account numbers were put on the agenda packet on Civic, whatever this thing called, our website.
Okay. The account, so no new bank accounts were opened. If that's the direction that the town wants to go, I can be more than happy. I can go that direction.
Dated, okay, that's what I'm asking, because I don't know if the commissioners are aware, but last month the bank account numbers were posted in our agenda packets on the town's website.
With all due respect, Mayor, that report had been given to the commission for as long as I've been there, and I just copied what was previously done from the previous budget and finance director. So what I provided was no different than what was being provided to the commission prior to
And Mayor,
my.
once you brought it to my attention, it was immediately removed.
No, I know that, but like, I mean, I had already printed my packet, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know who else, because it was public record, like, I don't know who all printed it. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm asking, like, are we going to change the account numbers? Because I would feel more secure in changing the account numbers, because you don't know who's been looking at the agenda packets.
Again, if that's the direction the commission wants to go, I can get that executed. Just need that direction.
Okay, so for me, I would give direction to get all new bank account numbers, but that's just me.
What are you suggesting, Madam Mayor?
That we get new bank account numbers.
Well, I mean, I don't see the harm. Is there a lot more work involved in that area?
No, sir, it's not a problem. We can get that done. We're gonna need new signatories on the accounts as well anyway, so we'll just do it all at once. So it's not a big deal.
And I think that personally, I think the mayor should be the one that's the lead on the credit cards.
I didn't hear that, Howard.
Okay, I think the mayor should be the lead on the credit cards. You know how the mayor's saying when she leaves, we need to find somebody else.
Right.
Well, the mayor, I think the mayor is the most appropriate one. So whoever's the new mayor will be the one. What?
I would say I disagree. I think it should be the manager.
I don't know. But I'm hearing.
Y'all had that issue with
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be responsible for no credit card.
Right, me neither.
So
Exactly.
I think it should be the manager and finance.
Yeah. You know, that might be a better suggestion. And then he is accountable to us. Yeah, I think I'm gonna twist around a little here. I think you're right, Gina. I think you're right. Let the manager be responsible for it, not an individual commissioner. Too much responsibility.
Well, he's responsible for the daily operations.
Yeah.
And, right, so
Yeah,
he should be the holder.
I would recommend, myself and finance, so that way there's backup and little checks and balances as well.
Right. And the divisional or department head, 3. JC, 3.
Okay, three. Oh.
Okay.
I think Mr. Commissioner Jacob had his hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
I believe the manager and the finance director should be responsible for those two. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in the past, you had the manager, the finance director, the assistant city manager, and the public works director as signatories, and who had access to the accounts.
Too many.
At one point, it was it gave extra checks and balances and extra eyes on things. I'm not quite sure what happened when Plant Moran did what they did as to the reason why all of a sudden I became involved in the credit card. I really have no idea what they did, but I know that before, Todd was the one who was responsible for signing off on the transfers, even with the League of Cities with the trust accounts. He was one of the I don't know how to say it. He was one of the people that it had to go through. So, just You guys make that decision. All right, with that being said.
No,
Yay.
you have other items. You have items. that we-
Your garden.
Yeah, okay, so we have hopefully a star that's coming to us. We've been searching for people that stand out, and there's an 18-year-old young man. His name is Logan, Saenz, if somebody could help me with the pronunciation. And what he would like to do is he's trying to have a little program over at the garden and the food forest, and we're all for it, the members. And he is talking about forming a partnership with the Sierra Club, and then they would have a partnership like with us, like we did Caporero. So I would like to sit with the town attorney and draw something up similar to what we've done in the past, and we'll bring it forward to you. But it's exciting that you have somebody young from our area that is now interested in biology and all that. So who knows?
Okay, sounds good.
Yep, it is an opportunity.
Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Yes. Are we done?
Town manager comments. We're in comments time.
Okay.
Yes, I'm just working with our town attorney. As you know, at the end of the month, the emergency order from Governor DeSantis is going to expire as far as allowing us to meet virtually. So our next meeting might have to be in person, but we're working on that. We're checking on what other cities or the municipalities are doing. Usually when he does extend it, it's usually like right at the end. So we're kind of hoping that he does extend it, considering there's a little spike right now. But I'll keep you all informed. And that's all I have.
Okay, Melissa muted, so I'm not sure if she has something. And then Gina.
I do not have anything. Thanks.
Okay, you unmuted. That's what I thought. Okay, go ahead, Gina.
I just would like to say good luck, Mayor. Thank you for your service, and wish you the best of luck in your next journey.
Thank you. Okay.
Good luck, Mayor.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you. Okay, so does anyone else, or can I can go now? Okay, I just want to make sure I got everybody else's comments out the way.
Okay, and good luck, Madam Mayor. And we all feel the same way. Good luck.
Thank you. Okay. So I'd like to thank the town of Pembroke Park for allowing me to be the commissioner for District 5 for over 17 years. As many of you know, in August, I ran for higher office for state representative for District 101 in an attempt to secure more funding for our city so that we could have the much needed services that our community so desperately needed, as well as putting an end to the annexation battle once and for all. So with that being said, I had to resign my seat for District 5 Commissioner in order to run for that office. However, it was an unsuccessful run. But as you know, my resignation is irrevocable. So my last day will be election day. I am proud to have represented District 5 for Pembroke Park for most of my adult life, starting on the commission in 2003, while I was still an undergrad at Florida Atlantic University. I've worn many hats over the years, starting as the Deputy Clerk Commissioner, then Vice Mayor, now Mayor. I'm Pembroke Park's first minority commissioner and first three-term consecutive mayor. During my tenure at the town, I've worked on numerous projects in an attempt to make Pembroke Park a better place. My motto is to do what is right, right for the community, right for the residents, and right for the employees. It's been a battle juggling that responsibility, and I've had to make a lot of tough calls. I'm the one that was responsible for cutting the employee salaries to bring them in line with what the market rate was, which resulted in a savings of close to $1 million for 25 employees. But at the same time, it hurt a lot of employees, but it did allow us to put money back into the budget to actually have services for our community. In the same breath, I've also been able to bring the minimum living wage up for the staff of Pembroke Park to $40,000 because we had such a huge spectrum of salaries from $360,000 all the way down to $30,000. So we now have more money to do projects in the city and be able to actually reinvest in the town of Pembroke Park. I brought the BSO negotiations to a head after reviewing all the contracts with all the other cities back in 2016 by being made the lead commissioner on the negotiations. And we've been fighting that problem ever since. I started the first scholarship program for the town of Pembroke Park. We fought a lot of battles dealing with the towers in Pembroke Park, making sure that we didn't become a tower farm. I got the sidewalks put in on 52nd Avenue as well as 48th Avenue so that our kids could have a safe way to get to school. That project is still continuing. We fought for drainage throughout the city. We've had so many problems dealing with drainage that, you know, unfortunately it's a never ending battle. We've spent $20 million trying to correct our drainage, and I know that battle will continue. I started the town's Little Free Library so that our kids could have books to read because of the fact that the nearest library was so far away and the kids have book reports to do. And I wanted to make sure that our kids had. I also started the book bag program to make sure that our kids had the supplies so that they would be able to get off on a good start at the beginning of the school year. And partnering with the schools to do programs like the Reading Oasis, walking the kids to school, doing our planting program in the community gardens, putting in medians, making sure that the town had the royal palms throughout the city to make sure that we were a pretty city, and also mentoring and fostering relationships with different programs like the Florida League of Cities, the Broward League of Cities, the U.S. Conference of Mayors are some of the organizations that we've partnered with and that we have built relationships with other elected officials so that we can know what needs to be done and what the standards are in our community. So I'm thankful for having served on the town for the past 17 years and the fact that, you know, we've done a lot of good over those 17 years. And I look forward to seeing what the town has in store for us and hoping that the town can stay on the right path. We've had our hiccups. We've gone through a lot, whether it's been the change of personnel, holding employees accountable to actually doing their jobs, and providing for our community. And I hope that we will continue to provide the services that our community so desperately needs. And I hope that we can continue to mentor and build relationships with these outside agencies so that we can make Pembroke Park a better place to live. So with that being said, I thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with all of you.
You're right around the corner anyway.
I know. And I'll continue to be right around the corner and a longtime resident. Remember, I've been in the city for over 26. We got the house when I was in high school. So I've spent all of my adult life in Pembroke Park. So I thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Aye. And
Aye.
all right. Bye.
Aye.
This
Thank you,
conference is no
everybody.
longer being recorded.
Good meeting. Wow. Going out.